All right, go live.
Yeah. Hmm.
All right, we're live. Let's go. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Honored Ones podcast, the greatest podcast on earth. We have been unsealed this episode.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I just.
Starting it off with the cornball creamisms, I guess.
Uh,
Um,
Good afternoon, chat. Hope you're all having a very Merry Christmas. Oh, wait, it's not Christmas. It just feels like it because a lot of boxes are getting opened, you see.
wow.
Oh man, feels good. Feels good, BR.
Uh,
Feels earned.
yeah. It was actually until those two puns came out. I'm gonna be real with you. I was happy, and then those actually made me sad,
Well, that's tough
unfortunately.
for you
But
because I'm on cloud nine.
sure.
Let's do we okay, you want to address the elephant in the room off rip
No,
or
you're on cloud nine. Take it. Take it. Take it.
okay. So guys, I'll be honest with you. This week has been a bit of a whirlwind with the chapter. You know, usually BR and I like to say pure. We only do officials. We like to keep our chastity that way, right? However, this particular week, unavoidable. There was no way. The second those leaks dropped, it was over. Like I was refreshing TCB's accounts like 3 times an hour. I had woken up after going to sleep one of the days. I think it was like the Wednesday after like that final Gojo panel started making the rounds. And then the next morning, I wake up, I go immediately on TCB, and I saw no chapter update, and it felt a little personal. I'm not gonna lie. It felt a little like, bro, I gave you 8 hours. Like, what's the holdup? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of get you, I guess, a little bit. I know Twitter was in a bit of a stir over the chapter. I actually was able to avoid all of the leaks until TCB dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you would have thought the series was ending by the way people were reacting.
Yeah,
So there was a lot of hype around it.
and like the second that dude, the second that chapter dropped, I was like, I was in tears. All right, I was beside myself with joy, with like. It felt like I hadn't. It felt like seeing an old friend that I hadn't seen in years, which was look, chat. I've made it no secret that Gojo's my favorite character. He's what got me into JJK. And I've been kind of riding Gojo's wave, you know, half for this podcast and half because the other characters are just barely likable compared to. I'm kidding, but like he was my kind of linchpin for this series. All right, and
Hmm.
it felt like I was going through the motions, right? Like, oh man, this character is great, but they're not Gojo. This character's awesome, but they're not Gojo, right? And it was just week to week to week to week of that, right? And you know, Hakari came close, right, to scratching that itch. Yuta came close, but I think seeing the guy come back, I almost fell to my knees in a Walmart, man. I almost like I almost cried like Deku at like the beginning of My Hero Academia, man. I was so happy that I was like, all right, this is why I love this series. And it felt like this wave of nostalgic feelings almost. These feelings of affection have been in the box with Gojo the entire time. And finally seeing him, man, I was like, I feel good. I feel content. I feel happy. Thank you, Gege. Bless you.
Um,
And then on a meathead level, obviously, we can get to that later, but like felt felt joy, right? It's been a while since I felt joy, but like Gojo brought it back to me. I'd almost forgotten. Thank you, Gojo. Thank you, Gege. All
almost forgotten what it was like, huh? Yeah, this chapter was pretty cool, especially since I went into it not having seen anything. Um, Obviously based on last chapter, excuse me, and how excited people were getting, you could it doesn't quite take a genius to put two and two together, right? It's likely Gojo's back. So I kind of went into it with that expectation, but I hadn't seen anything. I didn't know how Gojo was looking. I didn't know if this motherfucker was okay. I kind of went into the chapter thinking that Gojo was only going to be like unsealed at the last page. That was kind of something I could have imagined Gege doing.
right.
So I went into it with that expectation of like, okay, we're seeing everybody getting ready to unseal him. We're seeing speculation on whether or not like his mental state is all right. We're seeing all this shit surrounding it, and I imagine that the final page was going to be like, "I'm back, bitches," or something crazy like that. I don't know, whatever, right? But to see Gojo pull up to the
Mm-hmm.
chapter and then we had like 10 pages left, I was locked in immediately.
Let's
That shit
fucking
was so
go.
fucking cool, bro. Pulling up with the fucking cape like he's a
Mm-hmm.
superhero.
Yep.
Ready to shit on Bro, this whole chapter was so cool because like, all right. So one of the big things about this chapter that got me right was this. Gojo obviously pulls up on Kenjaku.
Mm-hmm.
To me, there's two reasons, right?
Right.
One, you're the guy that got me sealed. I
Yeah.
kind of got a grudge against you, right?
Yep.
That's the first thing. But what's crazy is he's like, no, bro, I gotta bury my best friend's body. And the way he phrases it, especially in the TCBs, right? At least from how I remember it, is like, it's not that he's going there to kill Kenjaku. That's not how he phrases it. He's going there to bury Geto.
Yeah.
Like,
which is so
it's like what that says to me is that there is no difference in effort in burying a corpse and killing Kenjaku.
Yes,
which
bro.
It's just like we knew that, I guess, in theory, but holy shit.
Yes, dude.
Having Gojo be like, yeah, I mean, bro, listen, you're talking, you're rambling, right? I know you're fucking scared now that I'm here, but listen, you might want to get to saying, your final villain speech because I'm about to pack you up. Like, bro, I think this is the first time we've seen Kenjaku like dead ass just sweat from fear.
Yeah.
Bro was terrified, shaking in his boots. Bro was fucking knees knocking, quivering. Like,
yeah.
bro was
on like a meathead level. Okay. After the initial like, oh my god, it's good to see Gojo again, and I wiped my tears away, right? They were immediately replaced by like the fucking hype screams of seeing Gojo in action again, which I didn't know that I was missing, bro. Like, I know it's gonna sound crazy, right? You know Gojo's the strongest, but you don't like seeing it is like very different.
Seeing it is very different. Like,
right?
Kenjaku is here's the thing. It's not like Gojo pulled up on a bum and made them scared, right? Like, Kenjaku is the guy who, I mean, everybody was looking towards killing Kenjaku as like this huge thing. Yuta dedicated
like he killed
his power
Yuki,
as a special grade towards killing Kenjaku, right? We were doubting if Yuta could do it himself. He killed Yuki. He bodied Choso. He did all of this shit,
and
he wasn't even
barrierless
really
domain.
He was barrierless domain, all that shit, right? He wasn't going all that crazy in the Yuki fight. He fucking survived the planet black hole, all that shit, right? Gojo pulls up, just standing there. He moves his hand. This motherfucker is shaking worse than I've ever seen him do in my life. Dude. Bro is actually fearful for his life, bro, and it's kind of crazy. Real quick though, to address the super chats. Rome Legend, thank you for the 2. No, I want to get to that. I want to get to just no in a little bit. And then let's see, Jerome Simmons, thank you for the 35. Yo, what's up, man?
What's up? Very big episode today.
But yeah. So I don't know. We're probably, you want to jump into My Hero and Black Clover before we like really, because obviously we talked a little bit about JJK, but we haven't really done the full fucking deep dive.
Yeah.
Do you want to get the riff raff out of the way first?
Yeah. Let's get all that sorted. Did you forget to read the Blue Lock chapter? Because I forgot to read the Blue Lock chapter.
I don't. When we streamed earlier, I don't even know if the Blue Lock chapter's out. So I checked like 2 hours ago, but I didn't see it there. So
yeah, me either.
Let's see. Nope, it still just says 2:15. So the new chapter hasn't updated yet. If it is gonna come out today. So yeah, no Blue Lock today. Just because no Blue Lock chapter out yet.
Yeah.
Anyways, Black Clover, snooze fest. I don't know if you disagree. You might disagree.
Did Black Clover drop a chapter?
Bro, chat. Whenever you listen, chat. Listen. Lock in with me.
I'm not even joking. Like,
lock with me for a second, chat. This is the guy who has Black Clover in his top 10. I am a well-known Black Clover slander is crazy.
I didn't even
but
read
like I'm
this
someone who doesn't really care for Black Clover, right? I did my due diligence and I read the series, but the Black Clover fan, the guy who has it in his top 10, he can't. Just make note. Make note.
I mean, the art slaps.
Make note. Like, dude, once again, if you say Horikoshi or Tabata's art slaps again, bro, I'm gonna slap you. Of course it does, bro. It like, oh my god, bro. It always does. Duh, right? Never fails. Yes, the art is really good. Pretty picture, go crazy. You know what I mean?
It's cool seeing Mary Leona and Salamander. Look, dude, Black Clover dropped a chapter. All right, you know what I think we should do? I think we should take like a couple weeks off of Black Clover and like review like a set of chapters.
Yeah, you're insane. You think I'm gonna? No way. A set of bro wants us to do more structured content or on Black Clover. Your let's
Look,
see, how
it's
can I say this on stream? You're insane. There we go. That's better. Um, yeah,
heroism takes
bro.
many forms. Br. I don't know how
Listen,
many
bro, if
times
you
I
want
have to keep telling you.
if you want to take time off of Black Clover, you know, for your own enjoyment cuz like it's not going that crazy week to week. I respect it, bro. I understand. Trust me. I'm not judging you. Here's the thing. I am not going to read an arc or like a set chapters when number of Black Clover come back and give like even a remotely comprehensive review. I'm sorry. I right hand to God, I don't got that in me. I don't, bro. I'm already
I believe
committing
in you,
time.
bro.
I'm already no, bro. I'm already doing fucking hard time with One Piece. I don't got Black Clover in me, bro. I don't
Man,
got. Nah, I was about to call it One Piece .25, but that's
that's
crazy.
crazy.
I don't believe that, by the way. Don't clip me out of context, please. Nah, but yeah, this Black Clover chapter was fine. Like you said, really good art. The pictures were really pretty. Y'all should add Sakamoto days. I agree. Kreams is just a bum. Um,
Y'all have
yeah,
hair.
but
Okay.
I mean, Marielona, I always struggle saying her name for some reason,
Mm.
but whatever. She's cool, I guess. I don't really care for this antagonist or this angel or whatever.
Mm.
Anyways, I remember him being hyped up in the previous arc, and then Jesus.
Whoa.
Yeah, hold on. What's I remember
Oh
being
my
hyped up in the
god.
previous arc and being a bum. But yeah,
Squeeps, thank you for the $100. First time chatter had to celebrate the honored one returning with the honored ones in chat, and you guys with stream. Thank you, thank you.
appreciate it, Jesus,
Yeah.
bro. That's definitely a way to make a first impression. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Right?
First time chat. Let me drop $100 on him real quick. Okay,
Yeah.
cook,
Dude,
cook, bro.
that also like occurred to me briefly, but like I just forgot to like comment on that. Yeah, fucking Gojo coming back is kind of honoring our namesake because we named it after him, and I think our channel icon was just a picture of him from like
Yeah,
the
for a
anime.
while. Yeah.
But thank you,
For a
Squeeps.
decent bit. But yeah, Jesus, thank you. That means a lot. Appreciate it, man. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to follow up your amazing donation with like the disservice that is Black Clover. I'll just say it was fine, dude. It was okay. I mean,
It
5 out of
was
10
manga.
chapter. I didn't really
Yeah.
care. I didn't care for it. Like, it's not bad. I guess I just didn't really care. Creams, bro said it was manga after not having read it. I'm sick. I'm so sick to my stomach.
Okay.
Um,
You know what's crazy? Okay, so let's go straight into My Hero. So
mm,
I had gotten like a DM from a certain Naruto lover content creator friend of ours who may or may
uh,
not come from a hellish landscape across the pond that shall go nameless. Um,
mm,
and he was telling me that there was like a lot of controversy around this My Hero chapter.
mm-hmm.
And so after I like had gotten down from my JJK high for a bit, I read the chapter when it went up, and I was looking at it, and I was like, I don't see the problem, and I'm curious
Mm.
like if you do, and I'm just crazy. Like,
I mean, I see the proposed problem. It's not a problem I have with it though.
okay,
It's all my pulling up tall for one.
yeah, it's
That's the issue that people
fine.
have.
Like we knew he was gonna die. Like my whole thing with All
Sweet.
Might is like whether like at whatever point he died, he still like needs to die almost. It's
I
weird, right?
disagree. I don't think he needs to die. I think he can like now in this position. Like I think it's likely that he will die, but I don't think narratively he's required to die.
It's
In
it,
fact, I
but
think it makes
it's
a lot more sense for him to survive.
yeah, no, it's either or, right? Like he needs to die epically. Like had it been after any of his fights with All for One
Mm,
with the Nemu. Oh my god, with the Nomu, it would have been fine. I think it would have been a serviceable death, really epic.
hmm
Then like Horikoshi should have just committed to the retirement. I'm just gonna be so for real.
Yeah,
Because
I
like
want to talk about that in a second
yeah.
because I actually did have a discussion with someone on Twitter I thought was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, one sec. Michelangelo Quiros Patterson, thank you for the 50. Jesus. Work got me slaving again, so I'll catch this one after. Like usual, love you guys. I appreciate it. We appreciate it a lot, man. Hope this is fun to listen back to. This is gonna be a fun one to talk about. This is gonna be a fun one to listen back to, I imagine. So,
Thank you. Appreciate that.
good luck with work, bro. Hope you can kick back and listen to this
Mm.
after you're done. But anyways,
You can do it, bro.
um,
Whatever it is, you
yeah.
can do it. I believe in you. BR, but I do, and that's all you need.
All right, bro.
Um,
Anyways, in regards to the All Might thing, I mean, I think I like this at least. Like, obviously, we don't know how the fight's gonna go, right?
right.
I like this quite a bit conceptually. The only
As like a
sort of like
stalling tactic.
yeah, no, I like no, no, I more like this from a narrative standpoint. I don't
Okay.
like the quality of All Might being able to hold off All for One completely depends on how what we see go down, right? That's not really what I'm talking about here. That's going to be something we see in the next few chapters. But I like the idea of All Might continuously having to step up and like stand for what he says. Like obviously, number one hero, all that shit, symbol of peace, blah blah blah, clearly, right? But this to me kind of ties back, and I mean we see it tie back to chapter one where Deku's like, you know, can I be a hero without a quirk? And All Might kind of shuts that shit down. He's like, no, bum, get out of my face, go be a cop or something, bro. um, and it's like, okay, obviously he says that he's wrong. He says that Deku can be a hero, blah 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 blah, right? And throughout the story, I think a lot of it, it's been All Might maybe believing that that could be the case, and Deku understanding that it be the case, and it being reinforced that heroism is not necessarily like extremely linked to being this like overwhelming powerful force, right? Heroism, at least what My Hero Academia is proposing, is that it's a collective effort and that it's more of a mindset and an altruistic thing than it is like how hard can you punch a bad guy,
Mm-hmm.
right? So for All Might to be willing to sacrifice himself to stop All for One from impeding on the passing of the torch to Shigaraki and Deku, to me makes a lot of sense. Like I was talking to somebody on Twitter, one of my homies or whatever, right? And he was talking that he didn't like it, but I actually like the idea of All Might stopping All for One from interfering with this next generation's fight. Like to me, if All for One gets there and starts fighting with Shigaraki, or helps Shigaraki fight Deku and stuff like that, it's kind of a little bit of a lost opportunity to me because I feel like this is All Might has passed the torch already, right? He's done that already. I've talked about this on the podcast before. I think that's the difference between him and All for One. It's why All Might, in spite of him being powerless, comes off significantly less pathetic than All for One, even though he's like clearly more powerful right now. And I feel like I feel like All Might being that last line of defense against his greatest nemesis or whatever, in order to let Deku go throw hands with Shigaraki 1v1 and save the world, save Shigaraki, fight this villain in his own way, is the best way that All Might can go out if he's gonna die, right? So that's how I personally feel about it. I feel like they're like, once again, the fight could be actual buns. I don't know. Horikoshi's got to cook next few chapters in order for me to really commit. But I think the best way All Might can go out is to really like solidify and keep all for One away from the next generation, while kind of like keeping the skeletons in his closet forever, if that makes sense. Maybe I jumbled up the analogies there. But it's more so that like All for One does not need to interact with Deku really. And if you've noticed, they don't really ever interact all that much in series, right? And I think that's kind of an intentional thing on Horikoshi's part. It'd be nice if he was able to keep that up with All for One, facing off against whatever All Might's doing right now. That's how I feel about it, though.
I want to respond to that. I just really want to read the super chat.
Yeah, go ahead.
The anime gamer, Jimmer, whatever. Thank you for the 20. Hey guys, been missing the lives. Happy to make it today. One thing from past episodes, Kreams, I will train you to become an athlete, and we can do this. I know what you're talking about, dude. I'm a professional athlete already. Speaking of, sort of small side tangent. BR.
Yeah, what up?
Okay. How do you breathe when you jog? Am I crazy? Like
Through my nose?
Is there a proper way to do it? Because I feel like I'm running like a block or something. I'm just fucking in shambles, right? I think
I mean, there's a couple of things. You're probably just not in very good running shape. It could be one thing.
Right, but it's more so like I just can't hold a breath. Like I don't know. Like I just.
Do you breathe through your mouth or through your nose?
So I breathe in through my nose and then out through my mouth.
Yeah, that's how you should do it generally. It depends on how long they're running. Like when I used to run cross country, I'd have a specific way of breathing, but more so than it being like the biological like optimal way to breathe or anything. It was more so just like it's more just so like rhythmic. So I would breathe in twice through my nose and then exhale one large time. And that's how I've had the most success personally. But like I said, that's more of like a rhythmic focusing on not being exhausted sort of deal than anything else. I would say like the exhaling when you're like breathing is very important. Exhaling is obviously you're trying to expel everything if possible. You may not be exhaling deep enough, I guess. So that could be a big thing if you're feeling running out of breath a lot. But another big thing is probably just going to be people generally can run a lot less than they think they can. I'm experiencing that firsthand personally. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about that. I'm not a I don't know. I'm not a physical trainer or professional in that regard, but that's all I got, bro.
I mean,
Maybe read Demon Slayer. That might help you out.
no, it's because like I noticed it wasn't necessarily like the physical strain on my legs or like whatever. It was just about like running out of breath. So like the second I had my breath back, I felt fine, right? And I felt like
I mean,
I could keep going, right? Yeah.
That's what gets most people. It's your heart and your breath. And those are the big things. Usually, the thing is like usually what gives out first is your cardiovascular system and then like your ability to breathe. Your like if your legs give out, right? Not your legs give out, but if you're like running and your legs are under a lot of strain, you're either like very out of shape running wise, or you've been running for an extremely long time because you're like you got to think about it like this, right? Your legs are used to carrying your weight around all the time,
Right.
right? And they're walking, they're moving, they're jumping, they're doing all this shit, right? Your legs are surprisingly enough very good at keeping you up because you probably use your leg muscles significantly more than you're using like your heart and your breath above a certain like rate of like exertion, right? So you're almost never going to sprint at full speed and your legs are going to be what gives out first. It's
Yeah.
always going to be your breath, it's always going to be your heart rate.
Yeah. And I was just trying to see if there was a way to like, I don't know, get it to calm the fuck down so I could just because okay.
Deeper breaths, deeper exhales. But the thing is once again, that's a practice thing. It's not like there's no it's those things are all muscles and those things are all things that improve through like practice and exertion. At least from my experience, right? But if you're able to be conscious of it, the deeper you breathe in, the more oxygen you have for every other part of your body. Bless you.
Thank you. Okay. I just I don't know. I was getting frustrated because it was like it was driving me crazy how like fast I'd run out of gas without necessarily feeling like I had exerted myself.
Yeah.
I was just like because I usually try to jog home on Sundays. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, just I don't know, maybe a light jog, maybe like if I sprint really fast, maybe my heart and fucking lungs won't know what hit him.
Yeah, no, bro. Not unfortunately, I can say that's not how that works.
They always
Yeah,
know.
sprinting will listen. If you're trying to like honestly jogging you'll have the best benefit because that you're not going to be breathing as hard if you like sprinting is going to it's going to shoot your heart rate up. Your breath is going to get really fast. And typically if you're taking shallow breaths, those shallow breaths aren't doing that much.
So I heard that you have to like hold the breath in while you jog. Is that like real?
Kind of, but it's exaggerated. You don't hold your breath, right? But there is a slight gap between the inhale and the exhale. So it's not like that's what I mean by shallow, like really rapid breathing. If you want your heart to slow down, you have to breathe slower. That's how you kind of so if
Oh.
you're breathing
Oh shit, that might be it.
if you're panting,
Yes, I
like if you
pant.
pant when you run, then
Yeah.
that's part of the reason. You're like
Oh my god.
that is entirely fucking it up. So when I say breathe deeper, I mean your inhale needs to be a lot longer, right?
Oh
That's kind of what it
shit.
is.
Yeah, because I'm painting like a fucking dog, dude. I'm just like I'm like doing 3 breaths every step. Oh my god. Huh.
Real quick, I'm gonna catch up on these super chats while you deal with that amazing fucking breakthrough.
Fuck, dude.
Rome Legend, thank you for the 2. Cream's got asthma or something? No, bro's just been breathing wrong.
I literally
Let's see, Rome Legend part 2. Thank you for the 2. W man can't breathe. Hilarious. Angel Lexus, I'm going to skip over that one. Maybe I'll get back to you later. Orbital Poet, thank you for the 5. Creams watches videos at 2 times speed and considers it normal. Of course, he can't slow down and take a breath. How are y'all surprised? Honestly, hold on. That kind of tracks. I'm mad that the logic kind of tracks. But yeah, Angel of Access. Thank you for the 2. I don't want to just ignore the fact that you gave us
Yeah,
2,
no,
but I
I'll
don't
read
know
the
if I.
chat.
Oh, of
Angel
course you
Access,
will.
thank you for the 2. Ronin talking Kreams through jogging is romantic. No, dude, it's just
Oh
friendship.
my god, bro. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
There you
friendship.
go.
Like,
There you go. That's friendship, bro. I'm helping a friend out with something, man. Can we be honest? Can we
KT,
be
thank you for the
honest?
2. BR, you ever think of collaborating with Six? Oh, I think
The
you should have read
Naruto
that one.
guy, right? Yeah. I mean, I would. I don't have any problem with Six. But he does Naruto stuff mainly, and I haven't really touched Naruto over here, so I don't know. I don't know how that would happen, but I wouldn't be against it, I guess.
I mean, damn,
But yeah,
you could arrange it for him. Like,
I could arrange. Yeah, let me.
no, no, I'm talking to
We
I'm talking to the chatter.
oh, yeah. I was say, it's like it was random. Like I guess I get it because we both power scale.
Is
But
that?
one, I don't know if he power
Oh.
scales, huh?
I just thought it was like he was like a Naruto person. I don't know.
I mean, he power scale. So he like actually, swag. He knows or swag Kage. I forgot you're not a Naruto person, so like
Look,
me
bro,
just saying swag
I'm
Kage
gonna
me.
mute up and just kind of answer this version of this question.
Are you?
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, you then know him. He
Yes.
just power skills. He talks about Naruto in general, but power scaling is an aspect of that, and he's a pretty big power scaler. So yeah. I mean, I like once again, I haven't particularly thought about it one way or another, just because there's not much overlap. But
I mean,
yeah,
I support you.
appreciate
All
it.
right.
Let's
So
see. Oh, Devil S, real quick. I want to say this because I thought this was funny.
hmm,
Didn't Creams think an average person can reach athlete level? Yes,
that was me.
through skill,
Yep.
and that's actually knowing. Wow, this is interesting. Sorry, that's just a discovery for me a little bit.
What?
Um, yeah, interesting,
What?
interesting,
What? Wait.
interesting.
What?
No, it's the like the incorrect breathing thing, and then in a previous stream you said you think normal people could like be like athlete level. It's just that it's the dichotomy of those. It's the comparison that makes that funny to me. Bro's like, yeah, I can't really run a block without getting like just generally fucking exhaust. Like I just run out of breath. You know that guy that runs a mile in 4 minutes though? Yeah, I could keep up with him though. Like we're basically the same person physically at least. There's not that much of a difference. Like
Yeah. What
Jesus,
was it? Gonna
man.
take like 3 months to get to his level? Like, easy peasy.
She bro said 3 months, bro. You will increase your time by 10 seconds in 3 months. Jesus Christ. Actually, no, you probably would increase it by a lot more. You're a beginner, right? You ever
Is
you run long distance? Like
no. I walk
okay.
long
Yeah, well
distance, but
obvious. Holy shit. I asked you that question, you can't breathe, bro. Never mind. That's my fault. I'm stupid for asking that question. That's my fault. That's my fault. Um but yeah. Yeah,
uh,
so you before you started asking me about how to breathe, you
right, my
said you
hero.
wanted to
Yeah.
respond to my
Yeah.
my All Might thing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like All Might's fate has always kind of been something I've written off since the end of the All for One fight at Camino,
Hmm.
because it's like okay, either whether he lives or dies is kind of like cool because he's basically fulfilled his purpose. And for me, I see this. Let's be honest here. This presumable death scene
Hmm.
that's about to happen in 2 weeks because my heroes all the jump chapters are on break next week.
Hmm.
Um, as like okay, the most I can do is stall all for one, and it's fine as a sacrifice, it's like it's funny, right? All Might has more W's against All for One than the other way around, and this can be like All for One kind of evening the score a little bit by getting the biggest win. uh all things considered, I doubt that All Might's gonna be enough of a roadblock to make All for One de-age more. But also, I feel like, and tell me if I'm mistaken, right? He took Tokiyami's quirk, right? Like
Uh
that's the impression I
I'm
got. I don't know if Hawks
I'm
like
pretty sure he leave I believed Jesus. I'm pretty sure he left before. It didn't mean Etta started crying out and then he just dipped before that happened. At least from what I remember.
Okay,
Um
because like
like all for one is like I
yeah,
gotta hurry up and dip out of here then.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So regardless, right? I just thought it'd be a really cruel, I guess, way to show to kill All Might. Just be like, hey, I took one of your students' quirks. But then again, like it wouldn't hit as hard if it was Tokiyami's quirk. So kind of a non-starter there. I just wonder how much time he's gonna buy with whatever tech he has.
I
Um,
imagine if all Might's dying here, all for one's dying here too.
You think so?
I don't think All For One's getting past All Might. And that's not to
Interesting.
say All Might's about to fucking win. Like that's not really what I mean. Well, he's gonna win. Okay, I'll put it like this: he's going to win, but like I don't think that means he's like going to beat the guy up. I think.
Mm,
So here's the thing, right? All For One has an inclination to talk.
right.
Okay.
Monologue
All
ability,
Might is
obviously.
his fucking greatest
Yeah,
his
dude,
greatest
that face he
nemesis.
made at the last panel. Oh my god, he was like, "I need to make this stop."
Yeah. And to me, right,
Hmm.
like All Might can beat All For One so long as he doesn't let him get to Deku. Like to me, that's the win state for All Might. All For One does not get to young Midoriya, right?
Hmm.
To me, all you have to do is you stall, and then you already have the fucking tenacity, right?
Hmm.
He's probably gonna get beat up a lot, blah blah, take a lot of damage. He's gonna get up like he did in the past, and I think All For One is just going to continue regressing because he's already shown himself that he's like, I mean, past being like a teenager, he's probably like a child in terms of like his body composition at this point. All Might, I don't. Granted, we don't know how much time and like literal how many minutes does he need to hold him off, but I think All Might probably is going to be able to get that monologuing part of All For One going. I'm gonna
Mm.
be honest.
First of all, Google me. Thank you for the 5. Wow, this week of Jump was crazy. Garp, Gojo, and to my disdain and displeasure, All Might. This is
Hmm.
indeed the week of the senseis. Oh yeah, dude. I actually noticed that myself, and I had kind of the same recurring thought. You don't read One Piece weekly, but like,
Hey, bro, I'm a
yeah,
One Piece fan for real, bro.
right.
Lock in.
It's a mentor person who's like older.
Yeah,
Think
yeah, yeah. No, 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 I know who
Yeah.
Garp is, bro.
Okay. Cool. So what's crazy, right, is the through line of all of these. I came away with the same impression after every chapter, and I guess this is kind of a spoiler for like the JJK section a little bit, but it's kind of crazy that all of these people are gonna die. Like it's actually insane.
Hmm.
Because like that's the impression I got from all these chapters.
No faith, bro.
Literally, because like, bro, I love Gojo. Full stop. Right.
Mm-hmm.
However, Gege has, and I think everybody's seen this, in the kind of Twitter sphere slash JJK discourse period where it's like, whenever a character says they're going to win, they always die, and I just feel like JJK is too dark to like, look, bro. In an ideal world, right? Gojo like three-way fight between him, Sukuna, and Kenjaku, where like they kill Kenjaku off rip, and then it's just him and Sukuna, right?
Mm.
But I just feel it in my bones that Gege's gonna be like, oh no, Gojo's gonna die, and then like his students will pick up where he left off, and I'm like, fuck his students, bro. I want to see him do it.
Yeah.
But
Bro has not been reading the story. I'm sick.
I
Bro did not get it.
I'm just so mad. I'm blinded by Gojo love. All right, is that what you want me to say?
It doesn't sound like you're blinded by Gojo love when you're saying the motherfucker's gonna die.
I mean, yeah, I'm.
Yeah. Yeah, bro's not a yeah, listen.
Look, bro.
You're clearly just level 1 of Gojo appreciation, and it's okay, bro. It's all right to be a scrub sometimes. It's okay.
Uh,
Um,
KT, you want to read this one?
let's see. Thank you for the 5. Chat is saying 6 said he's interested in a collab. Also,
Hmm?
Kreams. I want to know which OP YouTubers you're not fond of. You don't have to bash them or anything. Kreams is not going to speak on that.
I got so
And I'm gonna
excited, dude.
say,
Oh my god. Whew.
six can hit me up whenever if he wants to collab about anything.
Dog,
I'm
I was
down.
like ready. I had
Yeah, you're not
wow.
going. Yeah, yeah. I bet you are ready. You're not gonna say anything. Thank you. Let's see. Anime Gimger. Thank you for the 5. They should both
Both
die
die
in the
in the
fight.
fight unless All For One gets assimilated by Shigaraki and Shigaraki becomes the dominant personality. Look, bro. At some point, something's got to give. Either All For One's main body has to die, Shigaraki has to win, or both of them have to die. But at this point, Deku's got like he can only do so much. Like the heroes are stretched super thin. Like they have no reserves left. And Dabi.
Hmm.
Oh, by the way, that whole thing with Dabi and like the phosphorus bomb or whatever that he's like building up, dude.
Motherfucker said phosphorus
I know,
bomb.
I
I'm
know. I
sick.
just like have the phosphorus because like they mentioned Todoroki's attack and like I guess my brain like combined them. You know what I meant. You fucking know what I meant.
No, I get what you mean. A phosphorus bomb is still crazy though. But yeah,
But yeah,
continue. Go ahead.
like that whole thing with Dabi's fire bomb thing building up in the background this entire time. I'm like, Horikoshi, whoever told you there weren't enough stakes,
Hmm.
slap them. They are lying to you. I don't know what they seek to gain from telling you this, but dude, do not listen to them. Believe me, it feels hopeless. It feels hopeless.
Hmm.
I just.
Uh, yeah, no, the stakes haven't been high enough, bro. I really don't feel in danger yet. I had another thing. Have Toga be able to use twice his quirk
It's insane, man.
properly. You know, let's
Um,
let's create 20 Dobbies, 20 Shigarakis, just to really really get it cooking.
also,
Um,
I'll be right back. I really need to use the bathroom.
okay. Yeah. So let's see. How much is Slender Kreams? Slide me 5, and I'll Slender Kreams until he comes back. Um, nah, but yeah. Overall, my year chapter is pretty good. I guess I'll just give my number score for it now and retell it to Kreams later. This is like a hmm. It's like a 7 out of 10 chapter. It's pretty good. I may be letting a little bit of my enjoyment being carried by like how I hope this All Might versus All for One fight goes down, because I kind of do like it in concept and shit. But I like it otherwise. I think Ida and Todoroki banding together to take down um what's his face, burn charcoal face Dobby, right? Is pretty cool. I think Stain possibly being there, it would be a nice way to incorporate Stain, Ida, and Todoroki again, tying all the way back to Stain's initial debut and shit like that. So yeah. Orbital Poet. Thank you for the $5. Slander Creams. I got you. Creams. Listen, bro. Chat. There's so much stuff to start with. Okay, first thing, bro can't breathe. What are we doing, man? Like, I mean, bro cut me off talking about My Hero Academia to ask her breathing lessons. Are we being for real? Are we being honest? That shit's crazy to me. Honestly, I think I might try to get him to read Demon Slayer as like an instruction manual. To be honest, to be completely frank with you, chat also between you and me. Bo didn't do any of his assignments. None of them. None of them. Yeah, actually sliding $5 over to start slandering Creams is kind of crazy. I appreciate it though, by the way, but it is actually kind of insane. Also, chat between you and me as well. He's told me his like actual real opinions about One Piece and JJK. And he doesn't like him. He actually just talks about them for money and attention. You didn't hear that from me though. You didn't hear that from me though. Nah, but in any case, um, in any case, let's see, Mikey. Why didn't you like the My Hero chapter? I'm kind of curious. I remember you saying it on Twitter, but I don't remember. I don't remember catching why. I'm kind of curious as to what wasn't hitting for you. Ronin Pain Arc top 1. So here's the thing. So you're probably asking about the whatchamacallit, the Shonen Arc tier list I did, where I posted on Twitter. So on that tier list, they didn't have the fated battle between brothers arc or whatever, which is like Sasuke versus Itachi, that whole spiel. So what I did is I just combined how I felt about those two because it didn't have it. And when those two are, because they run pretty much parallel, when I have those two, that's all time greats. If not, I'd probably put it a little bit lower, but like maybe below the Frieza saga. But outside of that, I'd probably agree. Um, let's see. Let's see. Dex, thank you for the 5. Have you guys been keeping up with the Chainsaw Man Part 2, and how do you feel about it? I have. I can't speak for Creams, most likely has as well. I'm going to be honest with you. I like it. Chainsaw Man Part 2 feels like fine. It's struggling along at a nice pace. Significantly slower than the first part, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's pretty neutral, all things considered. I actually like this chapter for Denji's character quite a bit. Some of the things, yeah, I think I liked it. I think him trying to like convince Asa that even though life can suck sometimes, it gets better, and you need to find that like one thing to hold on to. In this instance, I think it's cool. A little bit on the nose. But it's cool regardless. I like the message. It makes sense with Denji's character, him kind of talking about that stuff and like talking about how it actually, life feels really bad. It was kind of cool. It was refreshing because he does seem like a very happy-go-lucky character sometimes. So when you actually do get to pull back that curtain a little bit and see how he actually feels, it's nice. I definitely was expecting him to say he's living for Nayuta though. But bro living for that yeah, bro. Yeah, bro living for he's not living for Nayuta, I'll say that. Also, Tessera, once again, absolutely insane, bro. Insane statement from you. We'll get to Gojo in a second, bro. Please calm yourself down. Um, quickly to get to Sakamoto days, I guess, before Kreams gets here and ruins the fun. The chapter is really good. I feel like I've said this a million times. I feel like I never have too much to say for Sakamoto days because a lot of it just comes down to peak, really good, super fire. You know what I mean? Um, but it comes down to that. The fight between Sakamoto and Baldy Karma Man was pretty cool. The poison guy seems all right. It's a pretty interesting. This was a good chapter. Like, wasn't particularly insane. I mean, besides Sakamoto going fishing for an entire vehicle, but aside from that, it was a pretty. I mean, it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
I am back. That took too long. I am sorry.
Yeah, don't worry. I just been carrying chat. It's all good. Carrying the stream.
Thank you.
No
thank
worries.
you.
No worries. Doing my usual.
It's okay. I'm here now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Unfortunately, chat. He's back.
so wow, orbital poet, you actually donated 5 for the Cream slander. That's insane.
Yeah, and I got to it. Don't you worry. I'll continuously slander him though. I'll make your 5 go. I'll make your $5 stretch a little bit. Don't you worry, bro. Don't you worry.
When I do timestamps for this episode, I get to experience that for the first time.
Nice, sick. M3D, thank you for the 2. BR, you got winning the domain clash between Sukuna and Gojo. I mean,
Sukuna?
Oh, yeah, it's Sukuna. Like, all things considered, it's just I can't go with not Sukuna. There we go. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it. I can't. There's no right now. There's no reason for me to say Gojo's wins.
Yeah. Especially because there's no narrative implication that Gojo's domain is particularly his strength. It's always been about the 6 eyes, about the limitless. But whereas with Sukuna, it's like the domain is is noteworthy, right? Gege made it of note in Sukuna's arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. If Gojo gets out the domain first, Sukuna I'd imagine loses. But if it's a clash, like what the super chat implied, then I think Sukuna would probably win.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean it has to be like a Jogo versus Gojo situation. They could just clash with Sukuna having the advantage, but we don't really know.
I saw this Twitter theory that was like, what if in a battle between Gojo and Sukuna, and then they get to the domains, Kenjaku uses Tengen's abilities that he's since he's eaten Tengen to to undo the barrier of Gojo's domain and then leave him exposed to being cleaved, and just that seems plausible. Are we getting into the JJK chapter officially?
We can, yeah.
If you want to,
he's gonna have his hand tied though. That's all I'm gonna say.
What's
your real quick before we move on? What's your number score for My Hero?
6. I don't know.
Cool.
Fine chapter. Just to answer Dex super chat real quick about my opinions of Chainsaw Man Part 2. I like it. I don't know if some chapters are necessarily worth a 2-week wait, but I like it.
Yeah. Oh, Lux said we need Ronin slander. Drop 5 and Kreams will slander me. Yeah, drop 10 and I'll slander me too. Yeah. Let's see. JJK time?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Okay.
If
do you want to go?
If you want
to, I want to address what you were talking about real quick. Actually,
I more meant if you wanted to run out and use the bathroom on your end. Just.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm a professional. Okay. Don't you worry.
Thanks.
But yeah. Let's see. So as for Kenjaku and Sukuna, it's not going to be a 2v1. I don't see that happening under any circumstances. There are simply too many allies for Gojo to be fighting both of them. You telling me Yuta, Maki, Hakari, none of them can get some shit done? I don't believe it. They gotta put themselves to work.
Yeah, I mean Yuta especially has a lot to prove. I feel now that Gojo's back, and it's all right, bro. Now's your time to shine. Bring Rika out, show him how it's done.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's interesting. We talked about this last week, but I feel like Yuta's going to feel like he has something to prove with Gojo back. Because
Yeah.
once again, you call back to what is it, 174 or 175, where he says he won't let Gojo kill his best friend again. I feel like even if Yuta does not actually accomplish that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, he needs to that needs to be revisited. You can't just ignore that and have him be complacent as being like the number two, right? Clearly he's weaker than Gojo, obviously, blah 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 blah. But Yuta needs to be dissatisfied with that. I feel like he needs to be dissatisfied with placing all of the burden onto Gojo because he's shown himself to dislike that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's shown himself to kind of step up to that plate in that sense mentally, and obviously he was getting shit done, right? So like he was cooking in that regard. The thing is, we just need to see that expanded with Gojo being here. So I imagine Yuta's going to have a pretty big factor in Gojo's in like how they interact in regards to Kenjaku. Maki's probably gonna have a bone to pick with maybe URAME. I could see her wanting to get back to getting flash frozen. It's interesting. I'm very curious how they're going to divvy this shit up though, because Yuji has beef with Sukuna. Like clear, fucking well defined. I gotta beat that motherfucker up myself, right? Choso's probably got beef with Kenjaku. Kashimo's got beef with Sukuna. And we all know the statement, Gojo strongest when he's alone, blah, blah, blah. And that makes me think either that's going to be revisited and Gojo's going to be like, oh, that's no longer true type shit. Or that's going to be like a little bit of a conflict where Gojo's going to want to go do this solo, be like, hey, you guys chill back, watch this. But I don't know. I feel like it'll be a rerun of Shibuya if he pulls up to both of them by himself.
Yeah, I think Gojo's like the biggest thing for Gojo to extract as a lesson is, hey man, maybe be slightly more cautious. It seems like, but honestly, it seems like a non-issue, more or less because the nature of the calling games kind of incentivizes Gojo to like cut loose because everybody there is either dead or a sorcerer or not there. So it's really a kind of ideal ground for him. And there's obviously some technical aspects. God, there's so much to dissect this chapter.
Yeah.
Where
yeah.
Okay, there's layers to this shit. Let's just read the super chats first.
Okay, go ahead.
Jerome Simmons, thank you for the 350. Gojo leaving that bum Kenjaku alive. Excuse me. Will be his undoing, but damn, he's back. Read the chapter like 8 times. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's funny that he did that because I don't know about you, but you know me, bro. My bloodthirstiness came out swinging. I was like, kill him, get his ass, Gojo.
I don't think he could have I don't think he could have so casually when Sukuna pulled up. I think now I'm not. Let me clarify. This isn't to say that I think Sukuna is like beating Gojo at all, right? But I think it's clear that they are both wary enough of each other to not like disrespect or like disregard the other. So like you notice Kenjaku immediately jumped behind Sukuna.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter today. Somebody was like, "Oh yeah, Kenjaku immediately ran away behind Sukuna." Like, no, Sukuna.
Yeah, he was fine. Yeah, he jumped behind him. He immediately jumps behind him, and guess what? Right, Gojo doesn't attack anyone until what? URAME steps up out of like away from Sukuna to attack Gojo, and then and immediately he goes. So to me, Gojo was ready, right? He was ready, like, but you can't, I imagine, attacking somebody else, right, when Sukuna is right there is not going to end well for anybody in the verse. And the same thing could probably be said about Gojo, right? If like Yuji was sitting right next to him and Sukuna wanted to kill Yuji, Sukuna's not doing that shit. That's not happening. Gojo's not letting that slide, and Sukuna probably knows that. I think they have respect enough for each other's powers to know that when they fight, they're going to have to give each other all of their attention, right? Gojo is going to have to pay attention to Sukuna. Sukuna is going to have to pay attention to Gojo. And the only time Gojo really diverts that at all is fighting URAME, who is one, completely fodder in comparison to all the rest of them there, I would imagine. And two, immediately stepped out of the range of Sukuna. Not out of his range, but like stepped away from the protection circle of Sukuna, if you will. Real quick though, I think you missed 2. So let me see. KT, thank you for the 5. If Gojo is the best at everything he tries, then can he hypothetically be the best barrier user? Yes. I mean, first of all, I think it's kind of a gag. Not a gag, but like, maybe. But the thing is also, it depends on, like, yeah, maybe he can be the best at everything he tries, but how long does he have to try? That's the question. He's got a month. Can he be the best barrier user in a month? Maybe. I mean, it's not, like he could get there possibly, but that doesn't mean he's there right now.
Like, here's the thing, right? Gojo training is already a scary thought, right? but let's. It's not like he's a bum or whatever. Like he's got like he's got the paws. You know what I mean? Like he's
Mhm.
not. URAME learned that lesson the hard way.
Hmm.
And there's a kind of like. Let me give you my impression, right?
Mhm.
Just so this makes more sense. Gojo seems like the priority is less so I need to train and more so my students need to train because
Hmm.
I think it's more valuable to have them be stronger because Gojo's already like Gojo, right? So I'd imagine for them getting stronger would be like a much bigger, especially Yuta, right? Like,
Mhm.
all right, Yuta, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna take a bite of every single person here, and
It's
then
fine.
like you're gonna go show Kenjaku who's boss. You ready to kill Geto a second time?
Hmm.
Right?
Hmm.
And that's not even to include like Yuji, Maki, all these other people getting their get backs. And I'll be honest with you, my biggest like question really about this kind of team arrangement is how and when are they going to utilize Kashimo? Because
Kashima's probably gonna say fuck that and just go fight them.
yeah,
I
right.
can I can very easily see Kashima be like, dude, wait a month. Hell
Yeah,
no.
it's okay. Go fight him. Like I got a lot to
Yeah.
learn. Like I'll study your corpse after. Like
I could see Gojo watching the fight, being like,
yeah.
yeah, please get a technique out of him, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Let me see what
but
Sukuna's
yeah,
cooking.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Real quick, M3, thank you with the 5. Wait, on that topic, just how much stronger do you think Kenjaku is having Tengen in his arsenal? This was made when we were talking about Tengen being part of Kenjaku's like now cursed spirits. I don't know if I think it makes him that much stronger outside of barrier context.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Tengen isn't portrayed to be that much of a fighter, he has to do all of his shit through Choso
Mm-hmm.
and Yuki. I definitely think maybe he'll have like extra barrier use, or he might even be able to like I don't know fortify his own domain or some shit like that. But outside of that, nothing. I don't think he's going to get too much more of a fighter, or that many more capabilities. At least that's how I look at it. But yeah,
Yeah.
uh, Satchel Harding, thank you for the 2, and the chapter came and the chapter came. There we go. Next up, let's see any other super chats. Orbital Poet, thank you for the 2. Frame 1 roasting of Sukuna goes hard. I agree.
Satchel Harding, you
Um,
just like me for real.
insane. Last Shikigami, thank you for the 5. Feel like both sides have a trick or two up their sleeves. What do you think Gojo needs to do besides preparing his students? Prepare his students. That to
Yeah,
me, that's
like
that's the
that's like the
that's the
big
big thing.
thing. Yeah.
I think it's just maybe
I don't know.
it's
Like
everyone getting on the same page.
yeah.
Um,
Like
I
ideally,
think
this is what I hope Gojo's itinerary can be. Right. Like if he can manage to squeeze it all in. Right.
hmm,
One, train his students, just to get them to the next level.
mhm.
Two, train himself, just so he has less weaknesses about like fighting alone, and he doesn't like get deceived by Kenjaku again. And number three, and this is only if he has time for it, but I would love to see it. Like if he has like an extra hour to spare or something, just run my ones with Gakuganji and the rest of the higher ups super quickly. Just squeeze it in there, like during a lunch break or something, right? Because they made unsealing him a crime, and they also put the bounty back on Yuji's head, so it's like just deal with that on a personal level and then do everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the higher ups aren't going to be that big of a problem considering most of them are dead.
Yeah,
But
but
I
like
do. I mean,
I would like to see Gakuganji dead. You know, just on a personal note. You telling me you're rooting for him?
I'm not rooting for Gakuganji. I don't think that's really something they should be focusing on right now. Though.
I
Um,
again, like I said, right? If he has the time, like I do not think like if Gojo is on his way to like get dinner or something, right? He can stop by and do it, right? Like if he's like, oh yeah, Kenjaku's like burying Kenjaku, like burying Suguru Geto's corpse and killing Kenjaku are like equal to him. It'll probably take less to finish up the higher ups, especially Gakuganji. Like am I crazy, chat, for saying that?
no, I just don't think it's a. I think it is not on the itinerary. I would guess, right? It could be. It could be.
Like again, if he has
But
time.
I imagine Gakuganji probably is going to have some relevance with Panda or some shit because of the curse. I imagine he's not going to get instantly fucking one shot.
Damn.
That would just be my guess though. Um,
I will
but
say,
yeah.
and I wanna know what your thought is on this because I was surprised by it. The
Mm,
kind of revised date with December 24th. Because I kind of said, Gege, what are you doing? What this is not the same guy who's been trying to like sprint to the finish line these last 10 chapters, you know? Like, what are you doing giving them a month, right? Are you proposing like a bit of a time skip? Are you adding a training arc? Like do you have time for one? Like are you giving me a 4-chapter training arc? That's insane. Like type shit. So I'm curious what if any of you guys, including you, BR, obviously, have had a similar thought about like the revised Christmas Eve date.
Not really, because Gege's never been one to really show training in any meaningful or detailed capacity. Most training gets skipped over,
It usually
or
happens
most
in
training
battle. Yeah,
happens in the fight.
yeah.
You can't really. I don't think you can name an example of somebody training and then us seeing the training in any sort of detail. Yuji watches movies. Megami trains with the weapon with Maki. Same thing for Nobara and all of them. I think it makes sense for Gege to do narratively, but Gege skipped ambiguous amounts of time all over the manga, right? A
Mm-hmm.
month is not gonna be that crazy if he just says, yeah, now we have 1 day or some shit, cool, whatever. I think it's meant to. I think what it is Gege wants to end his manga the same
Mm-hmm.
time or the same day he started it with Volume Zero,
Mm-hmm.
truly at least. Um, so it's going to happen on Christmas. I would imagine that's what it is. It's going to give them, I guess, feasible time for new abilities to show up though. So like if you want to have Yuji get stronger, you can't probably have it happen in a day and be cool. Um, yeah, so shit like that. I think I kind of
So,
think that's
like, how do
uh,
you interpret the Christmas Eve date? Like, what are your reactions slash like theory? Like why is that there? Right? Is kind of like the main.
from
Yeah.
it's there to justify any differences between the characters now and later. A month is enough time for those differences to show up somewhat reasonably, I think, is what's going on in Gege's mind.
So how do you think
If
they're
you want
using that
Yuji to
time?
get probably to train or to strategize mainly, that's probably the big thing. How they're going to divvy up their forces, what they're going to do, what are they planning for, things like that. Basically, a scaled up version of what Tengen and Yuki, and Choso were doing in regards to Kenjaku. A plan of attack. What are you going to do? What's the follow up, shit like that, who's going against who, matchup type stuff. Um yeah um
Hmm.
so yeah, that's how I feel about it. um
Let's. Yeah. I feel sort of similar. I guess my thing is like, I. Hey Gojo, it's nice to see you. So much has happened. You like you know like they kind of get the rundown. Um, I'm so happy with how Gojo came back, dude. Like just if do you want to start at the beginning of the chapter and just kind of go on and on from like till the end, or do you want to work backwards, or like whatever order?
um I mean, either one's fine. Are we moving on past like why we think they're doing the month thing though? Are we just moving past that?
Because I think we both kind of said like uh training arc slash strategy meeting is like what
Mm-hmm.
we kind of arrived at.
Mm.
I mean, unless you have something else.
No, not really. Um,
Damn, like
yeah,
such
no,
a no, not really.
no, not really. That's kind of what I
um,
think they're focusing on. Maybe catching up. You know,
yeah.
hey, tell me what happened.
Yeah. Who are you guys? To
Huh.
like talk about them. All right. So, starting at
Well,
the beginning of the
before
chapter.
Well, before real quick, I want to read off the super chats because we,
Yes.
we let them stack
Yes.
up a little bit. Jerome Simmons, thank you for the 140. Please explain how the rule Mr. Hanky that is his mother. What?
What?
Jesus. Added. Okay. Please explain how Kenjaku or how Gojo is not affected by Kenjaku's barrier rule. Uh,
He's built different.
I mean, he seems to have gotten past any seals that he had. Maybe that's the explanation, or maybe um, Kenjaku's like barrier player thing never even applied to Gojo in the first place, and we all misread that. I imagine that that's what it's for. Um,
I
Maybe what we'll see is like Takaba had some interference. I guess I think
Yeah,
that's something
we
I've
can
seen
talk
people
about
think.
we can talk about the Takaba thing
Um,
later because like
but
man,
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that came out from this chapter that we could go into. I think the Occam's razor explanation, if you don't want to dig any like deeper or until like Gege says otherwise, is just he's Gojo.
Yeah, he
Like,
can bypass barriers and seals that are not the prison room. I guess
yeah,
would be the big thing.
or like the Culling game simply like lacks the means to kill him or whatever. I don't know. Like it could be a number of things.
King Nija, thank you for the 10. Some good discourse on Twitter this week where folks arguing if it was actually Sukuna who told Jogo stand strong, you're proud, or is it a dream because that has big implications on his character. It was real. Sukuna said that. I will not have any further discussion. He called Jogo strong.
I mean, if it was it was fake, it would have been really funny / really pathetic on Jogo's end. Really makes his death that much more comedic, and I support that interpretation. I think we should spread it more.
Jesus Christ. Kreams is a fucking illiterate. Never mind. I was about to go crazy.
You should not cape for Jogo like this, dude. You're better than that.
Opinion ignored. Anyways, I think it definitely. Well, I'm addressing what he said. I think that could very really be the possibility because he also did see Hanami and Dagon there. Could be like the cursed realm thing that people talk about all the time. Like before they reincarnate and shit like that. And Sukuna could just be accessing that or talking to him in that. It's definitely possible. And you could say that Sukuna is too much of a fucking like bad person to like stoop down and be nice to Jogo like that. However, there's something about like the specificity of shit that Sukuna says to Jogo, shit that Jogo didn't really believe that kind of makes me think Sukuna said it, or Sukuna somehow influenced him to think that at the bare minimum. But that's about it.
Okay. Satchel Harding, thank you for the 5. How your Yuji stocks looking? Because mine are high right now, but I feel like Yuji needs at least something connecting to his mother's gravity curse technique. Look, man, I got a moderate amount of Yuji stocks only because I need to see this man unlock a technique. All right, he's now eaten presumably the rest of his brothers. You know, he's got some leftover Sukuna juice in him, right? Give me something, bro. Like Gege, there's only so many ways you can make punch hard a really cool move, and we're kind of running dangerously close on like that expiring coolness wise.
Yeah, you're insane. But
wow,
I'll let you rock, bro. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. The punch hard, look cool. Like the best fights we're gonna see in the series come from that shit. I'm gonna just be real.
It came from this chapter. Like that punch with like that URAME punch. Like that's historic.
Punch hard, look cool, bro. Like I don't know. I mean, so trust me. I get it from a power scaling. You need to be stronger perspective, but like from an entertainment perspective only, I guess I kind of like wonder where that comes from because if you look historically at what the best fights are in JJK,
it's purely like
their hands. They're like okay. I don't know. But it's just like I've seen a similar sentiment to what you just said. So just speaking to that real quick, it's just like I don't know. Like Yuji's fights tend to be the better ones of the series. Like you gonna look at Yuji versus Mali to be like, no, that shit was boring for real. That shit was mostly just motherfuckers punching each other really hard. Obviously there's the inclusion of other hacks, but that's never really been reliant on Yuji anyways. I've always found Yuji trying to deal with other people's hacks in a very simplistic way to be kind of an interesting, endearing, interesting, however you want to put it. I've found it to be entertaining to say the least.
I mean, like mine is only from a kind of power scale narrative perspective because he's running up at this point against opponents who are like super technical, have a bunch of techniques, right? So the problem is that Yuji just needs something to compete in that realm. Because I think right now he and like Maki, for example, like Maki can compete better because she has like the kind of hack to attack the soul. And if Yuji is able,
what about Yuji?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean, right? Like, even like that could be an upgrade if Yuji's like reading Yuki's soul book and he's like, "Wait, let me cook," and it's like soul black flash. I'm like, damn, like I'll accept that.
Soul black flash, that's funny. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I like Yuji punch shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do think he's going to need something. I think he's probably touched upon something similar to that when he fought against Sukuna, because clearly that was a different Yuji than the one we've seen before in terms of strength. But that's how I feel about that. Yeah. Let's see. Any other before we jump into the chapter? Full stop.
Punyan, thank you for the 2. I really hope Gojo crushes Kenjaku like an apple. Believe me, we'll get to that. We'll get to like how we want Gojo to deal with Kenjaku.
But yeah, I guess we can just jump right into it.
Yeah. So let me continue with the rest of the chapter. It starts off with everybody trying to figure out how to break Gojo out. And something I really appreciated was kind of the discussion around the nature of the prison realm, how time doesn't pass, Gojo's mental state. And I don't know, okay, there's two interpretations. One, this is all a setup for a very funny punchline of Gojo being chill as fuck after getting out of the box, or this is like kind of Chekhov's gun for a problem coming through later.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess I would say I agree. He's either going to be insane or not, which I lean more towards him being relatively calm, all
Yeah,
things considered.
but I mean, like, okay, is Gojo putting on a facade, or is he just like fine? Has it been like 2 seconds for him, right? Because I think the sadist in Gege is probably gonna make it like, oh yeah, it's been 1,000 years since Gojo was locked up, right? That's how he's perceived it,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just putting on this brave face for his students or whatever.
Yeah, I mean the thing is I feel about Gojo is like almost everything about his personality is a facade or a brave face or an exaggeration anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So when I think of Gojo as insane, I think of Gojo being unable to hold up that facade. And the fact that he is kind of tells me that he is probably not completely fine, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But like Gojo hiding his worries or his doubts or his like any of the things he feels that are negative,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's just very Gojo. Like that's how Gojo is all the time, in my opinion at least. Like before Prison Realm, he had a bunch of important shit he was worrying about and a bunch of shit he never really talked about to anybody that would like plague him, but he had that, bright personality. And after Prison Realm, he kind of has all that shit that he needs to worry about that's plaguing him. And he's had that juvenile sort of like jokey type of attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Gojo is like more than not okay, even if he has been in there for like 100 years or some shit like that. Like I think that's just the type of person that Gojo is, that he wouldn't lose his mind in there.
I mean, that's one interpretation. But I think like the kind of question that arises from that is, that would be really cool if it was something he said like offhanded, right? For that kind of like, 1,000 years, no big deal. I could do it in my sleep. Some Gojo-ism like that, right?
Mm.
It could just as easily be like, oh no, it felt like 3 seconds, right? And my main thing is, whatever time Gojo was in there for, the only thing he had like real, like the only like activity he really had was kind of mulling over um, how he got here, what he's gonna do when he gets out, how his students are doing, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder on some small level if maybe the prevailing emotion is anger at Kenjaku, just for the ghetto body thing and for sealing him. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and if that's the case, because like the reason I kind of extrapolate that is like his primary emotion is because his students on like they got him out, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you could be like, crazy interpretation, right? Maybe the I have faith in my students doesn't apply to beating the villain, but more so freeing him so he could do it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, yeah, I knew I had faith in them, like for some reason, and like that's why he's going to Kenjaku like off rip, just to settle that personal beef and then kind of keep it pushing, right? But something about him, something about his like collision with Sukuna, really striked me,
Mm-hmm.
because like look, when he's looking at Kenjaku, he's like, hey bro, you should pick your words more wisely, they're about to be your last, which by the way, cold fucking line, crazy bar, love that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is, he wasn't like so dead set on it that he was like, all right, time to get through Sukuna and URAME like real quick to get at Kenjaku. He was like calm about it, he was patient, he like he was essentially more rational than I think I was expecting. A friend of mine once made this little video called "The Unsealed Rage of Gojo Satoru." I'm thinking about it.
That
Right?
sounds handsome. I'm gonna be honest with you. Whoever made that video, he just sounds like a handsome guy.
Sure. Not on the inside though. Anyway, so the kind of sentiment in the video was
Just like
like,
Gojo for real.
right? Is Gojo like, is he coming out like just bloodlusted? And for me, he did, but not necessarily in the overt way that I think everybody was thinking. I think he was like calm mad, but I wonder why, right? Like why still like what do you
Because
think is
all
like
that all this does is it proves that his dream is the correct one. Like to me, him getting sealed is the like epitome of I was fucking right.
go
Like
on?
if you think about it realistically, right?
Okay,
What does Gojo want to do? What does he want to do? Right?
enrich the
It's
next
reasonably good,
generation.
right? And the point is because even though he could force things on them, right? Or he could kill all the higher ups and forcefully change the shit himself, right? It doesn't really mean much, right? And the reason it doesn't mean much is because no one else changes. And after he's gone, nothing, everything will slowly revert back to normal, right? So if you think about it, right, he needs strong allies, right? He needs a strong group.
Right.
What is a bigger objective showing of that than him being removed and the world going to shit? If anything, like the world turning out like this
Was because
shows
like
that
yeah,
it's because
he was
Gojo
gone. Yep.
was the only one of him.
Yep.
So if anything, like him disappearing, him going in the prison room, him being sealed, all that shit, right? The world going to shit, Kenjaku taking over, Sukuna taking Megami, all that shit, right? It's not going to be an easy lesson, but I'm 100% sure with Gojo's personality, with all the time he likely had in there,
Mm-hmm.
Gojo, now he may not have looked at it in such like a cheery disposition, but I imagine that all it is it is affirmation that he was 100% right. He just because he is like a nearly unopposable force in the verse does not mean anything when he is the only one on his side.
Mm.
It doesn't mean shit. Because if Yuta can't step up, if Hakari can't step up, if Yuji can't step up, if Megami can't step up, if Maki can't step up, if
Yeah.
nobody besides him can step up to the plate, what happens when he just fucking dies of like natural causes? Does everybody just lose? Do we go
Yeah.
back to the hand period? Right?
Mm.
Gojo getting sealed is like, hey guys, this is a small taste of what happens when I'm gone.
Right.
Shape the fuck up.
Yes. Right. So that's kind of like why I want to kind of not a pep talk, but like look, guys. I say this as your sensei. I say this as like the strongest, and I say this like as a person, right? And don't take this the wrong way. Why are y'all so weak? Just like straight up. Just be honest with me. Is it on purpose? I know he wouldn't say it like that, but it's still like the sentiment is like, I leave, and it's the apocalypse. I leave, and it's the
Which he
apocalypse.
knew,
Right.
which I would imagine he was aware of. That's why he's working towards it, right?
Right.
Um,
But it
the
like that's why I kind of support the training arc thing, because like the students just need to get stronger, because I think for Gojo, right, whether or not you believe, excuse me, whether or not you believe his final statement about like winning,
hmm,
whether or not he believes it, right, the kind of you can kind of stretch out the interpretation to be I will win to mean his philosophy will win, right? By like not he could be like, all right, I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna take Sukuna or Kenjaku with me, right? And then the rest of you like the rest of you can deal with like whatever remains, right?
hmm,
Which is still gonna be crazy for them, right? Like whether it's
hmm,
Sukuna or Kenjaku, like if Gojo just dies and only takes Kenjaku with him, they still have to deal with Megana,
hmm.
which by the way, I feel like
See,
Gege would do.
if Gojo dies to take Kenjaku with him, Gojo is a certified fucking bum. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's no way that is literally impossible in my mind.
Yeah, like I
It's like,
just extreme example, right? But like
hmm,
if you it's less so about a reflection on him and more so like Gege being like, all right, students gotta scrap or whatever, right?
hmm,
Um, there is a okay. This is gonna be a crazy like thing that I want. You know how Gege iconically said the whole one person survives or nobody or like one person dies and the rest survive.
hmm.
Um, a crazy subversion, right? And I mean unhinged, insane, deranged would be if Gojo was the only one left.
Hmm.
just
Yeah,
just
I'd like it. Maybe I've already kind of come to terms with it. Maybe Nobara should just be the one that's gone, bro. Let the rest of us survive and have fun, bro. Nah, but
but like that
I
would be
mean,
that'd be like like it's in character for Gege, I think, more so than like anybody else, because it feels like the kind of like twisted joke that JJK is kind of known for.
Hmm.
Like it's reasonable, right? It's perfectly plausible that Gojo ends up being wrong ideally, and nobody can measure up to him, and like all his students are dead, but he's alone as like the strongest, right?
Nah,
You don't think
I don't see it.
you don't
No,
think it could ever be that somber?
no.
Too depressing.
It's not about too depressing. I don't think it makes sense. I don't think it makes sense with how the story's shaped up. I don't think so personally. Gojo would die before that happens. There is no scenario in which Gojo allows that dream to not come to fruition with his life. Like I'll say that, like the reason I say that is because, like, okay, it's Gojo, Sukuna, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sukuna's like, I'm about to fucking go for Megami or Yuji or Maki or Yuta, right? Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna kill him. Gojo will let himself, and this is how I envision him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Gojo deems him being individually powerful as like not as important as creating a sort of next generation.
Mm-hmm.
Gojo would likely die before he lets that happen. That's
Right.
what I mean by I don't see it happening. Like there is it either Gojo can do it on his own
Mm-hmm.
and he just beats everybody solo, or he can't beat everybody solo and he fucking dies
Dies.
before his
Yeah,
students
which
do.
is why like my personal like opinion is, like I said, right, that would be a deranged way to end the series, right? It'd be funny in some respect, but like insane way to do it, right? The way
Mm.
and so like, you know how earlier in the episode I was like, after all the hype for me kind of died down, and like the ecstasy of seeing Gojo again wore off enough, the immediate thought that I had was, so Gojo's dying. like like
Mm.
I simply don't see a way for Gojo to keep living. Like I just
Um
like because it makes more sense for him to die and for his students to kind of take his place and for his dream to kind of live on past him than it does for him to survive and it being the other way around, right? Like his in it almost feels like a given that Gojo's like death is like kind of set.
very well possible. I definitely think he'll die before he like lets himself be the last one ever. But I think Gojo can. I mean, okay, I'll say this: we've seen with previous teachers that hey, bro, sometimes they'll just toss him at somebody and be like, die or evolve. Toto was actually the example. Hit a black flash, or I will let you die to this special grade. You
Mm,
know, sometimes you need that push. And to me, a training arc is not going to be 20 push-ups, 20 sit-ups, whatever, right? I think the big thing is just going to be like kind of like how it was with Megami.
mm,
A lot of it's going to be, dude, listen, the way you're even thinking about this shit is all wrong.
mm.
Um, I don't
Yeah,
know, man.
there's only one path
Uh,
for Gojo himself to evolve, and that's like, all right, guys, guess gotta go. I gotta become a calamity now. See ya.
hmm,
You got this, right?
yeah.
Oh
Um,
man.
yeah. I
Um.
imagine that he's going to like I would hope Gojo is like he is moved on like in his time in the prison realm. He's maybe taking that to be like, you know what, my problem with Shibuya is when push came to shove, I still went in there alone
Mhm.
and I didn't have any backup and I almost like betrayed what I believed in.
Mhm.
I would be nice if he's like, no, this time I'm going to trust you guys. Like I know I trusted you guys after the fact, sure, right? But
Mhm.
by then it was a little late. This
Mhm.
time I'm going to trust that you guys can not only help me retroactively, but can stand alongside me while I'm actually fighting. That would be a nice period. I feel like on everything that Gojo's character has been up to this point, and I think the students, while they don't necessarily have the actual power yet,
Mhm.
one that can change in a fight, in my opinion. I mean, Yuji. I've been saying that shit for the longest. Yuji was a pretty good example of that recently.
Mhm.
Um, but like I think the mindset is the more important thing to have, right?
Mhm.
So as long as everybody's on the same page there,
Right.
you can go into a fight weak and come out fucking like I've said this for so many characters, but like look at Maki and Naoya, right?
Right.
Naoya fucking put Maki in a like Maki
Mhm.
looked that was embarrassing, right? Guess what? Literally in 1 minute,
Mhm.
she comes out the other end and makes that motherfucker look like a bot.
Mhm.
Like
And that was after
we
he
know
like unlocked a domain too.
we know these characters can literally go from getting blitzed in damn near one shot to blitzing and one-shotting somebody else, right? Every single one of them has the potential to. And literally the only thing that changed with Maki is mindset, right? She didn't fucking hit the weights, she didn't hit the fucking gym. She did some sumo, got a fucking philosophy lesson, came out and said, "Yeah, I think I can body you."
Yeah,
Like,
she.
what's the sum?
Yeah, no,
Like,
she came out the
it's
hyperbolic time chamber swinging. Yeah.
yeah. And what I think is right.
Mm,
If you give Yuta, you give Yuji, you give Maki, you give Choso, you give all these people the proper direction. There's
mm.
absolutely no reason that they can't become characters that are able to help Gojo or stand with him in battle. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, no, like I said, right? Like, okay, I again don't want Gojo to die. Cannot stress that enough, right? But at the
Hmm.
same time, I just see a lot of death flags for Gojo, and that's kind of where it's coming from, right? Ideally, both he survives and learns to trust the students, and his students kind of fill in the gap, and like he lives to see his dream accomplished.
Hmm.
However, this is almost too positive for the story that is JJK, and that is the impression that I am getting. Right, just everything I've seen, especially in the last, like, man, ever since I think Meguna happened, right? It feels like darker, like almost
Hmm.
like okay. When Gojo came back, right, and I want you to like tell me if you felt the same way, right? It was like,
Hmm.
oh my god, is this a flicker of hope? Oh my god, can they actually do this? Can they get out of this fucking insane situation? Because I don't know if you remember, dude. Well, I forgot the name. I forgot the number of the episode, but it was the one we did. It was called "It's Over." We were just
Hmm.
like on some like sad hours. You know what I mean? Like we were just
Yeah.
bummed out. And so when Gojo comes back, I'm just like, oh shit, is this hope? Oh my god,
Hmm.
I'd forgotten this feeling.
Hmm.
And then it was almost
Yeah.
as if the sobriety kicked in or whatever, and it was like, I'm so worried now. I'm like worried about Gojo. It went from like
Yeah. I
we need
mean,
Gojo to like, oh my god, I hope he doesn't die.
I mean, the second part didn't. I'll definitely say the hope kicked in. I
Mm,
definitely felt. I was like, damn, bro, I feel safe. We're good. We're chilling. But I think the thing is you gotta like. I think so. We've been reading Cooling Games Weekly for a while, right?
mm,
So we have this like kind of doom and gloom feeling. But can you think of an arc? Um, maybe I think Shibuya is probably the best example of like one that just ends with no glimmer of hope whatsoever. It's just kind of like over, whatever, how it seems, right?
mm,
Um, but like every arc up to this point has had a balance of some negative bad shit happening,
mm,
but there being good shit like to kind of come with it, right?
right.
um like in Origin of Obedience, so in Keiji Die, I guess that's supposed to be said. But
For other people.
yeah. Yeah, for Choso and shit. Megami has a domain, right? Yuji Nobara had a dual black flash, blah blah blah. Past arc or hidden inventory. Toji dies, rest in peace. Fucking like Ghetto defects. But guess what? Gojo recruits Megami into the fold, right? And that obviously we know that turns out to be, at least up until that point, pretty good. We move on to Shibuya. Yeah, Kenjaku sure started the cooling games, but hey, Maito got packed up. That's good. That kind of came to a head there. Now we got a new ally in Shoso, so woohoo, right? And obviously with the colony fights, it basically all ended in victories for
So is
us.
your point
So
like, uh,
my point is
mm,
JJK feels a lot darker on the like
week to week?
smaller scale than
Right.
it does
Okay.
massively.
I,
Because Gojo's back. Like
like,
the thing is
mm,
like the Sumiki's dead, right?
right. Yeah.
Megami's gone. Cool,
Yeah.
sure, right? The thing is though, Gojo's back.
Right.
You see how that kind of like it's
Okay.
like sure,
Let
shit
me
is bad. We're kind of taking L's, but it's never to the point
let me give
on the
you.
larger scale where it's over,
I'm not disagreeing with you conceptually. I am just giving this as like an alternative take, right?
Hmm.
So you know how when the calling game fights first started, uh like, and I mean like with Megami, with Yuji just dropping into
Hmm.
to their colony, right?
Hmm.
It was like nonstop wins, right? They were getting the points, they were adding new rules. Even Megami was like, this might be all going a little too perfectly.
Hmm.
And then boom, curtain revealed, Meguna, and you realize they had lost even before the arc started, right? So it was less so about hey, they're winning, they're winning, they're winning, and it was more so like, hey, they were never winning, right? Like they were always playing a lost game. So does that
The thing is,
like that?
though.
Mm,
Okay, so think about it, right? Think about it. Why is that the case, right? Because Kenjaku's plans, right? They were still coming
mm-hmm.
to fruition, sure, right? But guess what we've gained because of that? Maki's infinitely stronger than she was before.
Okay.
Yuta has a new curse technique, right? We have a new ally in Kashimo, right?
Right.
Like those, even just those three things are like, okay, yeah, sure, sure. The colony wins aren't as good as we thought, right?
Mm.
Maki and Kashimo alone is just like fucking. Oh yeah, wow, Jesus Christ, that's a pretty big win in that regard,
It's a
right?
huge
We
haul.
got
Like I grant you.
right. Hakari's actually here. He's not being a bum gambling his money away, right? Okay, cool, right? We got some real heavy hitters. We got some real shooters. Choso's now stronger. Okay, cool, right?
Mm.
Yuki's knowledge has been passed on to Yuji. Okay, cool, right? We had the back of the prison room. Okay, cool, right? Now we have Gojo,
Right.
right? So let's say we have been losing all the way up until this point,
Mm.
right? Let's say everything's been going wrong, everything's been bad. Cool, cool, fine, fine, whatever, right?
Right.
All of that shit I feel like is building up to a nice heel turn, right? With okay, fine, right? You guys have been winning. You guys have been taking like major wins. I feel like in the same way, all the good shit, quote unquote, was a guise for bad shit coming up, right?
Okay.
Um, all of the bad shit can be a guise for powers and like new awakenings. Because when has a JJK power up ever come from some good shit, bro? Be real. When have we ever gotten stronger? Because bro, we were smelling the roses. All right, let's be honest. Can we be for real, right? When did Gojo get stronger? When he was lying in a pool of his own blood,
Blood.
and
Yeah.
Geto got one shot, and Rico got killed.
Mm.
Oh yeah. Oh, guess what? Then he came, right? Then it was showtime. Cause these motherfuckers be pulling up when the chips are down. And guess what? That's literally just how the series I think has functioned up to this point, right? So if we like now, don't get me wrong, there's still things to be cautious of, there's still things to be wary of. We're going to lose some allies, blah blah blah. I'm not saying it's a good guy sweep, no damage, no deaths, whatever, whatever. I'm not saying that,
Yeah.
right?
Like
But I'm
Gege
more
doesn't have
speaking
it
to
in
the
him to not kill
yeah.
people. To not kill his characters.
Yeah, but I'm more talking in an overarching scope, right?
Mm.
Like in a more long running sense, right?
Mm.
When have we ever been stronger than when shit is shit?
True.
like,
Look,
like
I fully agree. Like about not giving into despair here. My only reservation is like I just look. I don't want Gojo to die. It feels like he's going to die. It like if we're assuming this like oscillating between negative and positive is like the general course for JJK, we got like
mhm.
3 to 5 more chapters of some good vibes, right? The whole crew's there, everybody's assembling their plan, right? And then boom, December 24th, Kenjaku and Sukuna hit him with like this is what we've been planning, and then like
For sure.
a couple people die off rip or something crazy like that. Um, I just feel like it, between this back and forth, right? It's going to end on a negative than a positive, if that makes sense, right? It's almost like what's the game? It's like Duck Duck Goose or something, or not even. It's like at some point somebody's going to be left holding the bag, and I feel like that's going to be negative, if that makes sense, right? Like I just feel like
But we lose is the idea.
yeah, right. Maybe not in like the kind of Shakespearean like you know it was lost from the get, everybody dies, the end, right? Like I
Hmm.
don't think it'll be that negative, but I do think it'll be like I do think it'll be more dark than it will be like a typical upbeat shonen, like
I mean, okay, give me an example. Give me an example of what do you think it'll end darker then? Right? Because I'll say this: you think Chainsaw Man has a happy ending, so you're saying JJK will be significantly worse than that.
yes. Well,
I disagree.
it's more Chainsaw Man Part One, not like the overarching
Sure,
story, right? But
yeah,
like,
sure. Chainsaw Man Part One. I
yeah.
I don't think JJK will have a significantly more somber ending in terms of when you look at it as a whole, right?
Okay,
Because
what is your
you can
personal prediction for JJK's end? Like how do you Broken Run think JJK will end?
couple awakenings, couple of Gojos. Gojo gets to see them. He either sees them before he dies or he sees them and they win. Um, maybe like we get to see something like we're gonna see obviously big fight with Gojo and Sukuna.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the question is, are we going to see Sukuna lose there, or are we going to see Gojo lose and then someone else has to step up to finish the job, which
Mm.
could possibly be like Yuji because he probably has the biggest gripe with him up to this point.
Um,
Um, but I think we're probably going to lose one major character, right? Like one
Mhm.
big character we all care about. But losing one big major character we all care about does not make me think the ending is more bad than it is good, personally. Because if you end with the King of Curses being dead for good, you've already like that is hard to beat, right?
Yeah.
That is hard to out negative. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, bro, imagine if you just killed Satan or some shit, and you're like, you would have to have a lot of bad shit to happen to match that. Like,
True.
bro,
Yeah.
Sukuna has been a fucking 1,000-year long curse on the world.
Yep.
Getting rid of him, if you think him and two of the most permanent villains in the series, if both of them get packed up and fucking out of here, bro, even if you think now, yeah, it's real sad. Guess what? People 1,000 years down the line don't have to deal with fucking Ryomen, Sukuna, and Kenjaku.
True. Yeah.
Oh yeah, chat. Kreams does think Chingy's happy ending.
Yeah.
We've had this discussion, I think two
Yeah.
times.
I
It's
think we
always
had
funny.
like the full one on the Chainsaw Man episode.
Yeah.
I think it was episode 47. I don't know. It's the one with
Mm.
Asa on the thumbnail. Dex, thank you for the 5. I may be crazy, but in my opinion, I can't see JJK with a good ending. I could only see a bittersweet ending or a tragedy. I think my headcanon is Gege's wants a tragedy, like full stop. But Shonen Jump staff is probably like, hey man, remember they're 14. Dial it back.
Mm. Yeah. Kenjaku jumps into Miwa. Yeah, I'd rather die. Um,
J-Dub's
yeah,
Animations,
no,
thank
no
you for the
thanks.
10. How OP do you think Nanami would be if he had the Soul Liberation Blade?
Not that strong, to be honest. I mean,
Unless
like, okay, he'd be
unless it would
significantly stronger.
combine with
He would
his
be
technique.
significantly
Yeah.
no, he would be able to combine it with his technique. The thing is like it's just like no, okay. I kind of fucking downplayed real hard there. He would be significantly
He would,
stronger,
yeah.
but anybody that can like run up on him and just piece him up would still be able to run up on him
Yeah.
and piece him up because
Okay.
Nanami's just slow compared to characters now.
Okay, you know what it would be? He would be more
Not
effective
Nanami
with
hater.
right. He would be false, by the way. He would be more effective with the blade, just like on a technique like power level, but he would be less effective as a combatant because like compared to Maki, because if you just have better feats than him physically, it's not gonna be much of a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
Nanami's pulling a Mach 3. You know, I can hear the colors type shit. Yeah.
Okay. Sleeping Danger, thank you for the 14. Narrator, Kenji Hikari's look had finally ran out.
Dude,
I
I'm
will
not
scream
ready.
from the rooftops.
I will
I will be
I
so
will be
fucking happy
beside
that,
myself. I will
that
throw up.
gambling bum is out of here, bro.
Why do you hate Hakari so much? He's the best character, man. Aside from Gojo, obviously.
Jesus Christ, you're saying he's the second best character? Yeah, hell no.
What is your beef with Hakari,
I don't hate Hakari. He's just very fine. He's just very like okay.
man?
Like he's just a very all right character. That's it.
All
Like
right.
I think in the tier list I put him at like C that I had.
Yeah,
So
that was
like
criminal, by the way.
I don't dislike Hakari. Like don't get me wrong. I call a bunch of people bums, you know. So like it's not like me calling him a bum, a burger, triple cardboard, a gambling addict. Like none of those things. Like those are mainly jokes. My real opinion is like fucking he's all right. But the thing is, I would jump for joy if I see, you know, Kenji Hakari was thought to be immortal.
Insane.
However,
Insane.
that was before he met Ryomen Sukuna and he gets split in half or some shit. Like, bro, that shit would be cool. That should be cool.
No, man. I want it to be like even Sukuna was not prepared for Kenji Hikari's overwhelming luck.
No.
Also, I'll be
Dude,
right
that would
back.
be so ass. If Hakari even fucking touches Sukuna, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh my god. False, fraud, Nanami hater. Look at the receipts. Be right back.
Hey, bro, upload. Anyways, ugh, yeah. Let's see, chat. Let me ask you guys something. Okay, what do you think the matchups are gonna be? Right. So who's going up against Sukuna? Who's going up against Kenjaku? Who's going up against the URAME? How are you guys seeing it? What's going on? Nasty hating. Listen, bro. That's just what you guys pay me for. But no, what do you guys want to see from all these characters? Who do you want them matched up against? Because I could see some pretty interesting ones. Yuji's older brother's always gonna die. I feel like Choso's gonna die then more than Hakari, right? I feel like he fits that point a lot more. Jerome Simmons, thank you for the 14. Just wanted Gojo to slap Sukuna one time. That would be kind of hard. Just fucking just backhands the fuck out of him. Yeah. Maki gonna boil that ice. Listen, Liv, I'm gonna be honest with you. if we're just looking at the stat sheet, we're looking at the track record. Maybe Maki wants a little bit of backup this time. Miwo versus Kenjaku, obviously, for sure. That's a big one. Yeah. If Hakari turns out to be fodder to Sukuna, I'm gonna be Gege's biggest op. Dear God, I hope you become Gege's biggest op, bro. I need Hakari to look like fish food, bro. I need him to get out of here. Kashimo dying, yeah, that's okay. As long as like Kashimo dying is perfectly fine and well within my expectations of his character. I just need him to die, and Sukuna's like, God damn, bro, that was a fun ass fight. If it's not, Jesus Christ, I hate Gege, and never mind, I can't say that on stream. I don't even know if I could say that anywhere. So I had to leave earlier, but I didn't like the MHA chapter at all because all my journey has been learning that he could still be here with having the central main attraction. Interesting. I guess that makes sense. For sure. I will say though that like I kind of think that's what this is doing. I think the main attraction is Shigaraki versus Deku, and what All Might is doing is stopping All for One from taking the spotlight as well. I definitely understand what you mean for sure, and in fact, I was talking to one of my mutuals on Twitter as well about it. But to me, this feels like that's what All Might's doing. All Might is not fighting All for One as like the symbol of peace and like the hope of the series, right? All Might is fighting All for One as someone who is like those two are the prelude to the main course, right? Notice how we're seeing them before we're seeing Shigaraki and Deku again, and it's because these guys are no longer the focus. All Might is not the number one hero anymore. All for One is not the world's greatest villain anymore. They are both shells of their former selves, and they pale in comparison to their successors, and that's how I kind of view it.
And they should both be taken out at the same time. You know, leave it for the new kids on the block.
Yeah. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah. Let's see other super chats. Who do you think narratively deserves to get the kill on Kenjaku? Miwa or Yuta? Thank you, J-Dub's Animations for the 10.
They can both cut them at the same time. That'd be cool. But probably Miwa though, to be honest with you.
The answer is Gojo, just off screen, just to make it funny. Google Me, thank you for the 2. Hazanoki and Higuruma gonna piece up URAME. Man, it'd be crazy if they brought back Higuruma. I wonder what he's doing.
Probably lawyering up. King Nija, thank you for the 5. I need Kojima versus Guna to be this gen, Smarter versus Guy. I will literally cry tears of infinite joy if that happens. If Suka is like, no, bro, that shit'll. Listen. Can
you translate that for me?
A good fight, an amazing fight, a peak fight. Basically, I mean, it's just where main villain guy is not beat up by other guy, but he like proclaims him to be like very obviously the strongest person he's fought up to this point.
Really?
So if like Sukuna was like before fighting Gojo, of course, is like, wow, Kashimo, you are the strongest guy I've ever fought in my fucking life, right? And he's like, you know, he has the reverse curse and he blah blah blah, and then he beats him. You know what? That shit will go so hard. That shit, I'm smiling just thinking about it, bro. Kashimo pulling up like that would be crazy.
Perry 15, thank you for the 2. Stay hydrated. That's why all the bathroom breaks, man. we drink water around here.
Water. Kreams don't know Naruto. Nah, he's a fraud.
Water.
Water.
Okay. Continuing with the chapter, or do you need to tag in?
Once again, I'm a professional.
Oh my god, bro, that has never been true. I'm
just saying. How many times have you gone to the bathroom this stream, and how many times have I? That's what I thought. I'm a professional. I show up for the people. I give them what they want. Okay, that's all. That's all it is. Like, bro, listen, you can be an amateur and use the bathroom, but guess what? I do that on my off time. All right.
Dude, your pee must be like the color of vegetable oil. That's crazy. That you just admitted
to not being hydrated. Gallon of water a day, bro.
Such a lie, bro. That's such a lie. That's a provable lie.
Want me to show you right now? I'll show you. Hold on. I'll show you. I'm halfway through my natural spring gallon of water. Okay. Hold on. I got you. Got you right now, buddy. Got you right now.
Receipts right now.
And I got you. A provable lie. This fucking bum says. I'm about to show you. I'm gonna show you. 4 o'clock. About 3/4 of the way done. Look at you. Look at you. BR's for the people. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you guys don't come here to.
Guys,
you guys don't come here for me to use the bathroom, right? You come here for me to talk to you guys about fucking JDK, My Hero Academia, Black Clover, and random bullshit. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. We
No,
hey,
this is
you
Photoshop.
guys get one episode a week. I want to be here for the full thing. Is that crazy to do? Is that crazy to say? I'm here for you guys. What are we doing? Come on now. Come on now. And then I sent Kreams the proof that I'm drinking a gallon of water. And now he looks stupid, and
Fake.
we know that he's not a professional.
Fake.
Bro's crazy.
Bro
can't do nothing about it. It's insane.
Let's see. Orbital Poet, thank you for the 5. Imagine Yuta and Miwa jumping Kenjaku like Nanami and Yuji jumping Mahito. That's peak fiction. If you think otherwise, you're coping. Kreams. Thank you for the 5, Orbital.
Yeah, he agrees. You can say that about Hakari.
Google me. I need Takaba to. Thank you for the 2. I need Takaba to piece Ken. Wow. I need Takaba to piece Kenny to piss BR for Hikari.
I don't know what that means, but thank you for the 2. M3D, thank you for the 2 as well. Are you gonna say that about Hakari? He's not, bro. Hakari's getting one shot. I'm gonna be real with you. Listen,
Insane.
I'm gonna be honest, right? If Hakari said, yeah, Kashimo, you won without the technique, what makes you think with the technique he's gonna be like the fight's gonna be any closer? What are we doing? What's going on here?
Tiberius, thank you for the 5. Love seeing Kenny looking up at Gojo and Sukuna clash, showing that they're above, looking down on him. Everyone else as well, to be frank. Yes, dude, yes. So I think that's actually a pretty good segue into getting into the meathead part of this chapter. You down to talk about that for a bit?
No. Yeah, no, good.
Sorry,
I
know that's fucking whiplash, bro. Oh my god. I was just like, oh shit, I got to think about something else to talk about if he's not in the mood. Wow, I just took you at like face value. Didn't even question it. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Ronin is the perfect student. I actually suck at school. But
I was okay.
I was
B plus A minus on a good day.
Oh, so you sucked at school too?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I was in 2 AP classes in high school, and I got the highest score on like those state tests in my entire school both times.
Oh, so you were a nerd. Got it.
Oh, 100%, dude.
What were the AP classes in that you aced?
One was U.S. history, and the other one was English.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, history makes sense. I was getting English too. History, bro. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Dude, it was funny, right? A little Kreams lore update for those of you who didn't ask. So, I'd actually written this essay for my U.S. history class, my AP U.S. history class. Sorry. And my teacher liked it so much. He was like, "Hey, man, you should submit this to like a national essay contest, right?" And I'm like, "Oh, really? Word? Let's do it." And she's like, "Oh yeah, but you got to edit it like crazy. Like it's good for the class, but like, come on, bro, you got to polish it." So I have all the edits, right? And I was so swamped with like other work and her fucking homework too, especially. I just never got around to it. And by the time I remembered or had time to do it, she was like, "Oh yeah, the deadline's passed." I'm like, "Oh, well, shit."
Bro, why would you do extra work? That's kind of where I'm kind of confused at.
But like, there was like a part of me, like, especially after I got like that result back for that test, I was like, "Man, could I have won that?" And it's just something that's been like that I've been thinking about ever since. I'm just like, I wonder if I could have won.
Yeah, but go back to high school and just take that AP test so you can see if you were.
No. I got the answer for the test. I nailed that shit. Aced it, right?
Oh, you came for the national shit. Yeah. Go back to high school and then submit that paper, bro.
Bro, I think the prize was like $1,000 or something. So I'm like, I think that's why I was like so annoyed.
Oh damn! If there was money, then I could see it. I thought you were just doing this shit for the love of it.
Yeah, no. I just like I only found out about the money I think later. I think I would have been more incentivized to do it had I known about the money at the start. But yeah. So yeah, little Kreams lore for all of you. So Jerome Simmons, thank you for the 14. Explain Takaba in this chapter. And Google me. Takaba gonna piece Kenjaku just the minute Ronin. All right, so let's talk about Takaba.
Jesus Christ.
I know. Look, Takaba is the 3rd best character in JJK after Hakari and Gojo. Everybody knows this, right?
Oh, God.
Now, let's address, like, do you want to address the serious theory or, like, the gag theory?
Either they're equally plausible, bro. So
okay.
To either one.
So, when the chapter dropped, based on a line Kenjaku said about putting Prison Realm at the bottom of the ocean, surrounded by cursed spirits and, like, a bunch of seals, and, like, questioning how Gojo got there, and what would happen if Angel used the technique on the back door, and Takaba's comment about like this being a useless fact. There's a prevailing theory out there on the greasy interwebs that Takaba had gotten around a limitation or like Kenjaku's like seals against getting Gojo out of the box by like thinking it was funny if they would be gone, right? Essentially, he undid one of like it's gonna be a crazy sentence, but I think it gets the sentiment across. Takaba undid one of Kenjaku's strongest seals by thinking it would be funny if it were to happen. Or and this is the more extreme version. Takaba thought it would be funny for Gojo to survive, and he just made him immortal.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, maybe. So yeah, from what I gathered, it's pretty similar.
Also, Bosoy, thank you for getting yourself a little timeout. Don't ever say that shit to me ever again.
Dose boy. Okay, whatever. Yeah, it must have been pretty egregious. He must have compared you to like Sanji or some shit. Real stinky character. Nah, but in any case, yeah, I guess that's kind of the gist of the gist of how it goes. I mean, what do you think about it?
Look, bro, we both know what I think about it.
Do you want to explain it maybe to the viewers
that
are watching us? Yeah, like, sure, maybe I do, but the 3 people in here do. Let's
look, bro. I thought it was a little funny. All right, a little cheeky. But okay, the serious take that I have is, I don't think so. Mostly because it requires a lot of interpretation, and I think I had like a back and forth with Liv on Twitter about this, where I said, it depends on how you interpret Kenjaku saying perish. Because I thought he meant it as, box at the bottom of the ocean surrounded by cursed spirits and, like, seals. Because I was like, okay, that's... Die. Right, yeah. Die. Right, that's a lot. That's a lot of contingencies to have. That's a lot of safeguards. Like, that is almost ensuring that Gojo will not survive if he is freed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for Kenjaku, like, I don't think he would think Angel's technique would be what he meant by perish if he had done all of that, right? I think it's almost like a like he would not have gone through the trouble of even burying the box if he knew that the natural response of using Angel's technique on the back door would have just erased Gojo, right? Because it wouldn't have made sense for him to like go through all that effort.
Okay.
On the other hand, you can argue Kenjaku didn't know. Sorry, because Tengen didn't know that like Angel couldn't that Angel's ability would have erased Gojo from existence. Therefore, he was being like cautious that like he gets freed that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then thirdly, and this is kind of like what trips me up, right? Tengen did know that Gojo would be erased from existence, right?
Is this the third interpretation?
Yeah, right. So Tengen did know that Gojo would be erased from existence if Angel's technique was used to free him from the back door, but that would mean he lied to Yuki and Choso about the mechanism for this working, because he's the one that told them all this information to begin with, and he's the one that gave them the back door in the first place, right? And, like, what would Tengen have to gain from Gojo dying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like for me, it is more plausible that he just didn't, like Gojo was just built different enough to like survive Kenjaku's like pathetic seals or whatever at the bottom of the ocean. Like it's no big deal for Gojo, which to me is like the simplest and most reasonable explanation for how Gojo survived. I don't think Takaba had anything to do with it, because I think it was as simple as like the back door with Angel's technique did as Tengen like told him it would do, and then Gojo gets out because he's him. That's what I think. That's what I think, right? So like, as funny as it would be for Takaba to have a role in that, I just don't think it lines up with the actions the characters took.
Lines up with the characters. Sorry, I'm just trying to fucking. If 2 + 2 = 4, then 4 + 4 = 8. Okay, I'm just doing the math. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, I can't really speak towards like the logic of it really because from what I like it's feasible that it worked, I guess, from the way we know it like
Mm-hmm.
you know Takaba's technique works.
Mm-hmm.
I just know I would significantly rather it just have been Gojo, and
Yeah.
I think that's just because I don't care when. Oh, so this is gonna, I'm about to get tomatoes thrown at me, and I've got my poncho on, but Taka was fine. Like, I don't particularly like love his character in the way that the community seems to have gravitated towards him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think it would like the less amount of like series altering shit he does ambiguously,
Mm-hmm.
the better to me. I guess like that. I guess
Okay.
is how I feel. So if Gojo is going to do this regardless, it would be preferable to me because kind of I feel there's something about Gojo doing something super crazy and badass that feels more palatable than Takaba doing it. I guess if that makes sense. But hmm, that's how I feel about Takaba's technique in general, though. Um, being used in like larger scale applications, personally. Um, uh, there's people are saying that it's muted. Did you mute me?
God, I muted myself. How?
Oh, was it just me talking,
Uh,
chat, or was it Kreams? Bro, how do you
that's
keep muting yourself?
because sirens keep going by, and I'm like, oh shit, gotta mute, so like it doesn't fuck with the stream, and then it's like, it's so annoying. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know where it cut out, but I'm just gonna repeat it really quickly. I said, to me, I don't think it's necessary for Takaba to be the reason that that this is how Gojo gets freed, because it could just as easily be Gojo is that guy, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
it is unnecessary, I think, to cash in this chit with Takaba's technique on Gojo, because it is almost like taking away from the fact that Gojo is like, hey man, reminder, Gojo's the strongest, right? I think it is more appropriate to have Takaba to have Gojo do it himself than it is for like Takaba to like think it was funny and then like do it that way. It also, like I said, tracks with the actions that Tengen took with Tengen. Oh my god, with a Kenjaku took with Tengen's like knowledge in mind.
Hmm. Yeah. Fuck necessity. That's Takaba's whole thing. He's extra and can rival Gojo. I mean, yeah. Um,
But yeah, that's my take. So
interesting.
so it's weird. I didn't think
Yeah.
would be united in that one. That's funny.
I, like maybe I'd keep harder if I liked Takaba more. Like I'd argue for it more, but I
Like
actively dislike the concept of him playing this large of a factor into things. And it's just because I tend to not like very loose and fast like rules and abilities
mm,
that are super vague. I'm just not like it's not actually a criticism of Takaba's character. It's just like an archetype or a trope that I don't particularly care for.
okay.
Like very very vague abilities. Like if I find it funny, it happens. It's like okay, or like for example, the fact that we're over here arguing about like did he even activate his technique is like kind of why I don't care for it.
Yeah.
I don't even know
It's
when
almost
I should
too
be looking
subtle.
for it.
Yeah.
I
Because
don't know
like
when I should be looking for it, and it kind of
and
it's somewhat like not entertaining to me.
like to kind of address the specific language being used by Takaba, I don't think it like holds up in that regard, because like the you'd have to assume the joke, right, that Takaba thinks is funny is God, the Viz translation is so bad. Uh Thus was born an odd bit of trivia for the world, right?
Mm.
In the scans it was
Useless
useless. Yeah,
information.
useless
Yeah, I
information,
think
right?
so. The idea would be this, right? And this is kind of what I've gathered, right?
Right.
The idea would be Takaba is being kind of ironic. He's saying the information that
He's
Angel
yeah.
erases whoever. It's ironic, right? He's saying
Right.
this is useless, but in reality, it's a joke because
Yeah.
clearly it's not. Gojo's dead.
Right.
So the joke would be okay. He basically reversed Gojo's death from Angel and Gojo, you can kind of have your cake and eat it too in this scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Because it can be like, okay, yeah, sure. So what happened is Takaba saved Gojo from the angel death, but Gojo saved himself from the underwater seal death. Kind of is how you could have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
So all Takaba did is like make it so that Angel didn't kill him, and then Gojo did the rest. If you want to try to have it both ways, that's fine, and that'd probably be a lot more palatable to me at least.
It's an okay compromise, but like it doesn't need to happen because like it's not even just like that it kind of messes with like the Gojo itness of it all really, but it's more so that like I don't think this is how I'd want Takaba's technique to be like shown, because it's almost like it's uncharacteristically subtle, because like the joke in and of itself is so it's almost so nuanced that I'm like it feels beyond Takaba to make a joke like this. You know what I mean?
Think so.
Like okay, he's not aware of the technique. He makes a joke like this, almost like it's so my head hurts, man.
To me, it's just irony. Like it's just like, it's just being like it's being very like ironic and not crass. That's not really the right word, but it's being very like, it's like when you make a joke about some like a really fucked up situation.
Right.
Like, you ever well, you don't drive, right? But like, I get stranded somewhere. Well, I guess it's not like I need a car for any of this shit, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you make that joke about like, we're fucked, but you joke about everything being all right. That's kind of how I find this, and it's definitely like, so after kind of talking through it, I'll say if what people think happens is Takaba stopped the angel death, but Gojo dealt with the sealing shit by himself, I am more cool with that than Taco being the only reason Gojo's alive. Yeah. That's how I feel.
Because like I think what I want is like for Takaba to kind of coexist with Gojo, where it's like Gojo's abilities and the like him like just kind of sneezing away all of Kenjaku's seals or whatever like he had planned for him at the ocean, makes like it can be in harmony with Takaba's like influence. However, if you assume like the problem that I run into, right, is if Takaba did in some way have an effect on the whole erase from existence thing, why would Tengen give them the box and tell them to seek out Angel to like free Gojo like that, right? Because
does he? I don't think it would. The idea would be he doesn't know,
right? Like either he doesn't know, or like if you want to get like tinfoil hat, he did know, and then that like leads to a whole other bag of worms, right?
I'll put it like this: Angel didn't know.
Right.
So if Angel didn't know, unless explicitly stated, I can very easily believe that nobody else on the planet knew. Because Angel obviously wants Gojo back, right? To kill Sukuna. Cool. If Angel, the owner of the technique, did not know, then I have express reason to believe that Tengen had no fucking idea. Like, at all.
Right. But like, why wouldn't Tengen know if he had the back door, if he's like the best barrier user? It's almost like
you don't know because you don't necessarily know the intricacies of the technique. Like, for example, we knew Angel could negate techniques, right?
Right.
We did not know Jacob's ladder was the way it happened, right? We had all the information Tengen had, like all the information he told us at least, right? But guess what? We were still able to be somewhat incorrect or incomplete in our assessment because techniques don't necessarily manifest themselves super straightforward all the time.
Right.
Right? Yes, she does negate techniques or suppress them or however phrasing it is in the manga, but it's not just I touch you, it goes away. I hit you with this beam of light and it happens. It's very specific. So Tengen can know she has this technique, but not quite know how the technique manifests, and just like, hey, it's assuming that it'll work because it kind of works in the same way the inverted sphere of heaven and the black rope does. That to me, that's very feasible.
So yes, like I said, right? It's just vague enough that it can either be ignored or like analyzed, right? But I think if it was more overt, it would have been like a bigger problem for me. And look, I like
also
Takaba
NJW. We are just speculating. Like, when I'm saying Angel disintegrated him, I'm like this is under the assumption that Takaba did some shit. Like it.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? Like it's so subtle that you can have the conversation about it and you can completely ignore it. Like it. I think it really is up to you until or unless Gege confirms otherwise.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to 100% be that Takaba's technique, unless like explicitly stated that it's being used or whatever. Part of the reason I I just don't care for this. Like, for example, right, when Gojo uses red, there's no fucking doubt that he's using red.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a very, and it, you can, there are rules, there are explicit things that we have to follow, or like ideas or things that we can kind of generally, but it just feels, like, it feels like a lot faster and looser with Takaba's, which like I said, I am inherently not a fan of that archetype. But I will say, with Gege putting this in the story, I can see this making sense and I can see it happening. I don't care particularly one way or another, though, at the end of the day. Like, it's like, he did it and cool, feat, or he didn't and, cool, no feat.
Yeah. So that's kind of the Takaba controversy addressed.
Yeah.
Now, getting into a let's see, what page is it on? Okay, starting from page 14 on and like till the end of the chapter, when Sukuna comes in, right? So, Gojo just kind of. I love Gojo, man. He like one look at Megana and he just kind of takes it in stride. Not like happy about it, but he's not like, how could you do this to Megami, right? He's like, he just shit talks Sukuna like without missing a beat. And I just love the psychological warfare of the two strongest guys like going at it. And on top of that, Sukuna isn't like chained to anything, right? Like he can just they can scrap right now. And it is so wild to me that for a single like brief moment, like on my first read through of this chapter, right? Before I turned the page, there was an instant where we were so close. We were approaching. We were like a centimeter away from Gojo versus Sukuna. And
yeah.
I just, dude, I was like, if my heart was racing the entire chapter prior to that, dude, I think that one, like, my body started to float just like out of nowhere. I was like, what the fuck is possessing me? And yeah, just we got so close to Sukuna versus Gojo, man. That would have been a crazy way to do it.
Yeah,
it's like Gojo gets out, he's like, like time to run the ones, bro. like put him up.
Yeah. For sure. I think so I think one thing I found interesting is like the continuous shit talk from Gojo.
Yep.
Because like you kind of get the,
especially to Sukuna, like more like with Kenjaku, he was more like serious, like he was like exterminating like vermin
right now.
Right. With Sukuna, he was just like.
He called him a loser that had to run away from Yuji. Yeah. I was like, thank God, bro.
Yeah.
Please, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Jesus, URAME pulls up. URAME really was like, oh no, he's actually cooking. He's actually cooking Sukuna. I gotta stop this.
Bro, the
goes up and
first.
Bro got hit with the meanest punch, bro. Fucking oof.
Bro, and Sukuna just like dodged. I think Liv pointed this out. It was so fucking funny. Yeah, Sukuna just dodged the body. Like he didn't help. He was just like, I mean, looks like you got your ass kicked. Sucks to be you.
Yeah. And it's like one thing I found to be particular. It feels like retribution for URAME, like laughing at Yuji and shit. And the reason it's like URAME's like laughing and shit never feels as justified because she's clearly not as strong. So like when she's laughing and shit at Yuji being like the Harima statue or whatever the fuck, right? It's like, now that's crazy because the only reason you're doing this because you're a dick eater.
Yeah,
like you're doing this because Sukuna's there. Yeah, you get the oh no, this guy's strong and exactly. Like I'm with Sukuna, so that means I'm chilling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like
Gojo
for Gojo, for Gojo to be like, oh, he's like, listen, here's the thing, right? Yeah, sure, you're around Sukuna, and I can't take Sukuna lightly. But here's the thing. You stepped outside of the circle.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill you.
It's like, boom. It's like, who was talking to you?
Chest. Like caved in.
Literally. And who are you? And by the way, love the little detail of like the blood not touching him.
Yeah. In who are you?
And did Kenjaku like retreating behind Sukuna? Like,
Sukuna, wait. Sukuna, wait. No.
Yeah.
Sukuna, wait.
Yep.
That's just funny,
dude. Like I miss Gojo so much, and like getting into the whole Kenjaku Sukuna keep your promise to me before fighting him. What do you think that
Kenjaku was worried that Sukuna would die? I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
He,
he
I,
was like,
my guess is that he's like, no. If you fight Gojo right now, I'm not sure you will live long enough to fulfill your end
yeah,
of the
and if
binding.
you die, I'm dirt. I'm gonna die. Like I'm certain. Like it's not even a conversation, bro. Like the second he beats you, I'm gone. Like not. I'm retreating. Like I'm. That's it. 1,000 years down the can. Like
Yeah.
that. Like.
Liv said your audio is a bit low, by the way. I don't
Okay.
know.
No,
I don't know if you
no
checked the mic.
problem.
But yeah,
Is it better now?
I don't know. I'm not listening. I can't listen to stream and
Yeah.
talk, bro. I'm about to fucking get
It
be
was
put
more.
in a
The
blender.
question was more
Um.
addressed to chat. Thank you.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. But so there's an interesting thing I brought up when I was talking to Liv and Chester about
Mm.
this chapter, right? So Sukuna thinking about like what Yorozu said,
Mm-hmm.
like
Very
the one
odd.
who was
Yeah.
talking about love is. I'm like, bro, Sukuna loves Gojo because he's super strong, and he
Huh?
thinks he probably can give. Listen, bro. The thing is, right? What was Yorozu all about, right?
Okay.
Love and shit, right?
Right.
The one who will teach you about love is dot dot dot, and then Sukuna then talks to Gojo. What are we doing?
Okay.
What are we
Look,
doing
bro.
here? What are we doing here?
I hate to say it. I did get that vibe for like a second. Right. For like a.
Okay, so what breaks the vibe?
Okay. What breaks the vibe is how would Yorozu know about Gojo?
No. She doesn't know. Sukuna's contextual. Remember, Sukuna already said like when she was like, "How would you know about love?" Right? Sukuna smiled. Right?
Right.
He knew some shit she didn't. So what I think is Sukuna is thinking back to that because it's relevant here.
Hmm. Okay.
So like this is almost like if you were to think of okay, if you were to think of who is the person that taught Sukuna, right? Who other than the strongest sorcerer alive? Now listen, don't get me wrong. I don't think these two motherfuckers are about to go on a dinner date, right? Like that's not what I'm saying. But what I do think is that Gojo acts like he is the person, the only person we've seen
Hmm.
that can even begin to
Talk like dude. He's
like
talking heavy to Sukuna. Like
he's
yeah.
the only person that can begin to like how do you say like get past that like solitude level of power
Mm-hmm.
that what is it Sukuna subscribes to or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, I have much more to teach you about love and the ultimate strength and solitude it brings, right? Blah 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 blah
Right.
blah.
That's the Viz
um
translation. I think. Yeah.
yeah, and to me, like thinking back to what Yorozu was saying and Sukuna having that like arrogant smirk of like, yeah, no, I know what you're talking about, but you don't know why I know what I'm talking about. And then thinking about that with Gojo kind of implies like a Gojo is once again, I'm not saying this motherfucker Sukuna wants to buy him some flowers, right? But I
Right.
do think that there's something to be said about like Gojo being able to fulfill a desire that Sukuna has been waiting for forever.
What do you think that desire is?
Mm, maybe to not be completely like okay. You know what it is?
Mm.
Think about Aizen. Think about fucking
Oh,
Aizen.
don't do this to me. You.
Think about Aizen. What word was used with Aizen a lot? Solitude, right? That
Right.
loneliness shit.
Mm.
I feel like Sukuna looks at Gojo as Aizen looked at a potential full power Ichigo. You know what I mean? As like you can be the answer to my century spanning loneliness. That's what I think. Um,
Look, I don't. Here's the problem, right? I have no. Sukuna has not expressed a desire really for that to be filled. Like with Aizen, you can extrapolate certain things from quotes or from like how he presents himself, how he addresses others, especially those like who he thinks are like beneath him, which is like everybody. But
mhm.
for I'm trying to think of a good example here, right? There's never been an instance where Sukuna has spoken to another character or like expressed like this desire to be filled. Like when like he's never had a moment where like Aizen's cutting up Harabel and being like,
Mhm.
I had thought that when creating the Espada I can make something as powerful as I am. It's sad to see that I'm wrong. Paraphrasing,
Mhm.
right? But like Sukuna hasn't really had a moment like that kind of like alludes to like a deeper fulfillment or goal really.
Okay, so
So yeah.
let's do some pattern recognition,
Okay.
right? So would you consider Sukuna like kind of like a smoke demon, I want to fight type character archetype, right? Would you say that's fair to kind of categorize him as considering everything he does?
Yes and no. Okay, look. The reason why it's not like a hard yes is because Sukuna fights as like it's gonna sound crazy, right? My interpretation is Sukuna fights the same way other people need to eat. Really, like it is a thing he does to kind of go on.
Okay, so sure,
Yeah.
right? So imagine you're Tantalus, right? And
Mm-hmm.
everything. Nah, that's not a good example because he never eats, right?
Okay.
I'll rephrase it, right? Imagine everything you eat tastes like nothing, and while it keeps you alive, your hunger is never satisfied,
I think
right?
you're describing the whole for one
Would
a little bit.
would you not love or pine for the one thing that can finally like quench your thirst, fulfill your hunger, all of those things, fill that void, right? Like, once again, pattern recognition, right?
Mhm.
Why does Ichigori like fighting so much? That
Uh,
hunger
yeah.
for an opponent, right?
Right.
What do you think Kashimo's gunning for Sukuna? That hunger for an
Right.
opponent, that fucking fight, right?
Right.
Why did Yorozu love Sukuna? Because this motherfucker was ruthless, right? Was a fighter for real,
Right.
right? And all of these people are from the past in these more like warped, battle hungry times, right?
Right.
So it feels like it makes a lot of sense for Sukuna, who was basically the Gojo of his time, to pine for this same sort of like lifestyle of I'm fighting for my life to hone myself
Mm-hmm.
and like exist solely for this sort of like battle mentality. But for Sukuna, depending on how you interpret him, that's never been the case, right?
Okay.
He may have never fought for his life in his 1,000 years, right?
Right.
Jogo didn't make him fight for his life. Maharaga didn't make him fight for his life. Yorozu. Maybe it's been to the point where he has never felt like that sort of exhilaration of, oh wow, I'm going to die ever, right? There's never been a point in his life where the fear of like genuine death, the fear of like losing in battle, or like the adrenaline or any sort of like what however you think he may like be excited by it, like
Mm-hmm.
the basic almost like human emotion of being excited because of risk and danger does not exist for him because he's who he is. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
think about, Hakari even fits in this, right? Hakari, what about the fever, right?
Mm-hmm.
This motherfucker's like chance. The possibility to lose makes winning so much more fun, right?
Right.
Now imagine Kreams, for you have never been able to fail at anything, right? Right? I know
All right.
that's hard to imagine,
It's very
right? But
relatable,
just
honestly.
basically the antithesis of your life, right? No, that's crazy. I have to work for those $5 we got in the stream, right? But just imagine, right?
Okay.
Nothing has ever been like something you've pined for, right? You want to be the world's greatest boxer, right? It's
Okay.
easy. You've never lost a fight you've never tried in your life.
Right.
You want to be a sprinter, never been difficult. You want to have 1 million subs, never been difficult, right? Everything you do, nothing's difficult. There's no fear of failure. There's no adrenaline. There is no danger. Nothing, right?
Okay.
None of that shit can entertain you because it is simply impossible for you to be. There's no risk, right?
Okay.
Like who gambles when you know you're gonna win, right? That's not
Okay.
even you can't even do that. It's like it's a hypocritical or like oxymoronic idea.
Okay.
So imagine Sukuna existing for 1,000 years in a period where strength and fighting was kind of like damn near like going on a roller coaster or some shit, right? And it's just boring. It just sucks,
Okay. I like the
right?
pitch. Like I said, right? I thought of it like when I read the chapter. I want to believe it because I fuck with the vision. Okay, I need to make that clear. I agree with you. I fuck with the vision. That sounds amazing, right? Sounds fun even, right? And I think it'll add an extra layer of awesomeness to the Sukuna Gojo fight when it eventually happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I just ask you something, right? And I want you to like be honest with me.
Yeah,
Do
gotcha.
you see that with Sukuna remaining unfulfilled or dying kind of like Ishigori, but dying?
Ishigori
Yeah,
lost the fight against Yuda and who was fulfilled,
yeah, right.
right?
Like in a similar way, but like for him, it's like I'm full now. Thank you so much. You are the strongest, or you're the real honored one. Whatever he may say, right? Which one do you think it will end on?
So the question is tough because I don't think those are the only options, right? And the
Really?
reason I'm they're the only options is because I think one, if you think both Gojo and Sukuna can die for one,
Mm,
right? So that adds a third option of like you keep the integrity of Sukuna as an antagonist and Gojo as like the strongest because neither of them are able to like truly overcome the other. They both die, right? That's definitely possible, right?
mm-hmm.
There's that. You also have Sukuna winning, but like that thrill, that has like
Mm-hmm.
he finally enjoyed something almost, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so there's that as well, right? So Sukuna, so like you can have Sukuna win and be fulfilled. You can have Sukuna lose and be fulfilled. You can have him like win and be empty, but you could also have him lose and be empty if like Gojo fucking mops the floor with him or some shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he just bodies him, Sukuna doesn't get any excitement, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
what I said earlier was like another option, the fifth option, I guess, is like Gojo and Sukuna both die and they're both like they've both kind of met their match in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, Sukuna like almost all of those are viable, so I'm not really sure as to which one I think. Like when it comes to Sukuna and Gojo fighting and how that goes down, at this point I'm fucking everything's turned upside down all the way around. Like I think Heian era 20 finger Sukuna versus Gojo wins, but I don't know what 20 finger
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah, I wonder where the other 5 fingers are going to come into play, or if they're even going to come into play, because I can imagine that being a part of Kenjaku's prep. Because like the way I envision this kind of month or whatever until December 24th going is Gojo focuses on like helping the students get to like a sort of comparable level, and Kenjaku's like, all right, bro, we gotta like prepare like everything, right? I'm bringing out the big seals. I'm like absorbing all of Tengen's knowledge to give me like some crazy barriers and anti-barriers to use against Gojo. And then just to cap it all off, just for extra measure, here are the other 5 fingers. Chomp them up. We're getting you to full power.
Yeah,
that's what I think it's going to be like. All sides kind of amassing all their strength, right?
for sure. Yeah.
Right. So my like before we even get into, because like the Gojo Sukuna thing can be a whole episode in and of itself, right? The deal that he made seemingly with Kenjaku, what the fuck could it possibly be for, right? Like, is it like okay? My thing is it was probably payments for the whole cursed object thing more than anything, right? Because I think Sukuna said, or somebody said, Kenjaku is responsible for Sukuna like transitioning into a cursed object to like keep going, to keep living, or it's for something totally different, right? If so, I wonder what it is, because like there needs to be a kind of set price, otherwise it's gonna sound crazy to say about Sukuna, but like it sounds like Kenjaku just kind of has like a blank check of Sukuna indentured servitude, because it's like, hey man, you're still a cursed object, you know, like I guess we gotta keep going. So I wonder like how the hell like what is making Sukuna cooperate with Kenjaku, right? If Gojo's right there, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So like yeah, like what do you think is holding him back? What do you think is it the 5 fingers? Do you think like it's just the binding vow he made with Kenjaku to get a particular item, to do a particular thing? Like what do you think is like left?
Honestly, I don't really have a good grasp of that, to be completely honest with you. I can't think of anything that Sukuna can give Kenjaku right now
that he can't get himself. Is like,
he can't get himself. Like, I don't know, maybe, oh, hey bro, teach me how to incarnate after death or some shit like that. I don't know, maybe that's the thing I can think, but I really can't think of anything else.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it, because that was one of the more like subdued but like mostly notable things that I noticed about the chapter was what does Kenjaku want as well, because like the calling games are kind of over. Gojo's here, whatever. He added that he bullied that Kogane, coward by the way, and fucking just he, like what else, like what's left, you know? So I'm curious.
I mean, what's left is to kill everybody so that he can really have that curse come out. Like that's kind of that's what's next for him.
Right, but doesn't that sure? I mean, I wonder how, because the students are still like, all of them are still players, right? So how that affects them, like I guess it's confusing, right?
That's what it is. Kenjaku's goal does not happen unless everyone dies.
Right, but basically. He like if Gojo's there, like he literally can't, like he has no mechanism, right? Of like
the idea would be, I imagine, Sukuna fights Gojo, Kenjaku fights the rest.
Right, but that plan seems like it's going to be like, whether it happens now or on December whatever, it doesn't seem like the necessary steps are going to be all that different. In fact, it's almost to Kenjaku's detriment to like wait, because
do you want to go into a 15 finger Sukuna? or with 20.
So you think it's because like my prevailing theory is like, dude, we need to get the fingers.
I imagine that's what they'd be doing.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is the promise that was made? Right. Like what does Kenjaku want from Sukuna specifically?
No idea.
Right.
Would not even be able to levy a guess.
Right. Because like how do you stay Sukuna's hand, especially when he's like free, new powers, and Gojo's right there. Right. He's like, hey bro, you remember what I said to you? Like that was the first thing he said. Like
Yeah.
like what the fuck did he promise? Like what like I cannot imagine what he owes Kenjaku.
Yeah. Something that he doesn't want reversed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess we'll have to see. Yeah. Obviously a binding vow for sure. Like, yeah.
Like yeah, without question. I think even Gojo
Like,
says
if
that
he's saying
himself. Yeah.
If Kenjaku was telling Sukuna you have to make good on your
Yeah.
promise, like telling Sukuna he has to do something, yeah, no, that's
You
definitely
need a binding vow. Yeah. Like that is the only way. Cause
you have to help me.
bro,
If that wasn't a binding vow, I'll fucking kill you for talking
yeah.
to me like that.
Dude, Jogo gave Sukuna back the bulk of his power, and he thanked him by killing him. Like, let's be real here.
Yeah. Let's see. Isn't 15 Finger Sukuna plus 10 Shadows close to 20 Finger Sukuna? I mean,
Probably of the Hainen era, but I think that 5 finger difference will be him stronger, right? Because now he has like that on top of Megumi's techniques. Which, man, I'm so excited. Like, I think I'm genuinely like excited / looking forward to JJK a little bit more now that like the Culling game prelims are mostly done and the kind of
all the shit the Culling game prelims. I'm so sick.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Like the main battles, yeah.
Prelims.
like yeah, I mean now it's like okay, we've been in the Culling games for so long. We've been in the Culling games headspace for so long that it's like, oh shit, stories like coming back. The story's coming back when Gojo did, which is really funny to me. Yeah. I mean, aren't you excited? It's like feels like a JJK revival right now. The JJK Renaissance been happening for a few months. And I think crazy times, you know.
I mean, I'm excited. I don't know if I'm like obviously this chapter is particularly exciting, but a JJK revival to me implies it was like dead at some point.
It's not that like I more meant like as far as like story progression, right? Like towards because again we've been in the Culling games for so long, like with the battles, that how long I think in real time, right? Just looking on this podcast, right? We started, oh my god. Am I really about to do this math right now? No, I have to. I have to for the principle of it because like there's no other way. So I think we started doing this podcast like for real. Like, wow, even before the Hakari, Kashimo thing, even before Hakari and Panda, Kashimo and Panda.
Started streaming or doing episodes?
Doing episodes.
Oh yeah, we were doing episodes midway through Sendai, or I think we started off with Sendai.
Oh my god, I think we started off with Hakari's introduction, or maybe slightly after.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Yeah, so like
we've been talking about we have been doing weekly, through most of the Culling games colonies.
Yeah, so like it's been we've like the bulk of this podcast has been with the Culling games, like they're like ever present the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it for me it feels like a new era. I don't know. It could just be me.
I kind of get what you mean, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I haven't felt a really like big arc transition moment, to be honest with you. But like in the same way that we did with like from Shibuya, but that may also change upon rereads. Like right now, just because I'm in it, it may not feel like it, but maybe in retrospect it will. I will say I'm very excited though. In about 25 years we'll get the next chapter and.
Oh yeah, dude! 3-week break is some nasty business.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be criminal, man. Gege knew what he was doing. He was waiting for a weekly Shonen Jump break week. He could have dropped this at any point, but no, he was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna squeeze this in here, give myself a little 2-week vacation so I could like physically recover from having to draw Gojo again.
Yeah. All right, cool. I'm gonna stack this break week with my own break, and then we're gonna just fucking double it on. I'm like, all right, bro. Was that really necessary though?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know it's funny. Speaking of drawing Gojo again, I've been seeing a lot of people like inquire about Gojo being buff, which is really funny because like
Mm,
he was just wearing an oversized coat the entire time in the series before this
that's what I was
point.
saying.
Yeah, like why wouldn't he look like this? You know, like did you think he was putting the paws on Jogo? Like how? You know?
To be fair, Yuta looks the way he looks, and he was putting the paws on UJ.
True, but
So
you know he's got less cursed energy than Yuta, which is crazy to say about Yuta, by the way.
fair.
Yeah,
But yeah, like I mean, he didn't have to be fucking big, but
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I agree that I think Gojo probably looked like this. The thing is, I just think like, bro,
Mhm.
what is Gojo gonna do? Push up his way to being fucking yoked? Like, what are we doing?
Because I always imagine it's stacked upon the base physical stats, right? So like I feel like if Yuta ever worked out like religiously, like if he got as buff as like Gojo or like Hakari or Yuji,
Mhm.
just aesthetically, right? Like his cursed energy would kind of like multiply the base, and he'd get stronger. Because that's how I always thought of physical abilities and like cursed energy amps.
Yeah,
Because that's
it's
how Yuji's. Because he doesn't have a lot of cursed energy, but like it sort of evens out with somebody like Yuta like not trying. You know what I mean?
yeah, it depends on if you think it's additive or multiplicative. And the reason I say that is just because if it's a multiplication of your base strength, then
Mm.
yes, working on it would probably have a huge benefit. But if it's additive, Yuta being like normal to like, yeah, bro, I'm bench pressing like 500 would actually make not that much of a difference in the grand scheme of motherfuckers that are like throwing around cars or like blowing up buildings, or in Gojo's instance, basically coming from 24,000 feet underwater
Yeah,
and being like, "Yeah, I'm here."
as like
Um,
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna have more. It's gonna it'll have taken me more effort to swim up here than it will to kill you. Like,
yeah.
oh
Um,
man.
this motherfucker Liv said she pixel scaled his collarbone, and by that she just means she looked at one image of Gojo and then another image of Gojo and said, "Yeah, he looks bigger here." Um, yeah, that's funny.
uh,
Um, yeah,
you
that's
think
fucking
you think Prison
hilarious.
Realm just kind of like keeps him going? Be like, all right, if I do 10,000 push-ups, I won't ever get tired, and the Prison Realm will keep healing me or whatever. It's like
Fucking maybe, man. But I'm like, okay, when have we ever seen Gojo just like chilling, bro? Like, when have
yeah,
we ever seen him fucking in a like,
bro's
bro
always
came
been in the
out.
jacket. Yeah,
I
he's always
mean,
in uniform.
always in uniform.
Actually, no, there was
Yeah,
one scene in all of JJK
there's
where he
Meg
would.
teaching Megami,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
his shirt, but like, what the fuck does he look like then? You know, let me see.
I
I
think
mean, let me.
he looked more like a K-pop frontman. If I had to like describe his
Yeah, but even
build
then,
succinctly,
he's
yeah,
wearing some fucking oversized long sleeve,
yeah,
bro. Bro never showed off the arms.
yeah.
He's
I
like, listen,
mean,
I can't flex on him too much, bro.
yeah. I
I
mean,
can't flex on him
like
too much.
at the baseball game, he was just in a button down, and he filled it out.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I'll say I'll leave that
Yeah,
for the hornballs. I'll say that. I'll leave that
he
for the
is.
people that have been analyzing the dimensions of of Gojo's muscles.
Um,
You know.
by the way, I do think that like he is bigger than Yuji. Well, he's taller than Yuji, but like he probably
Significantly so.
yeah
And the funny thing is, he towers over Megami, not like well, Megami and Sukuna
yeah.
too. Like
uh
it's very hilarious.
yeah. Overall, man, 11 out of 10 chapter. Fucking amazing.
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. If
Gojo's.
Gojo can come back buff, or if Gojo came back buff, so can Nabara. Bro, what do we listen? There's two things. There's two things I worry about for like not even my own health, but for the sake of the fan base, right? What happens when we never get a Heian era flashback and we never get a Nobara comeback? Like
Yeah.
how are we as a society gonna function, bro?
Like yeah, I think if Gege kills Gojo, like he just bro stay behind the cat mascot.
Yeah,
Never reveal yourself.
when Nobara comes back ripped, Jesus. That would be a hilarious visual. She's just fucking yoked out like an actual fucking bodybuilder type shit. Yeah,
Also,
yikes.
yeah, Nappy, thank you for the 5 Gojo so sexy, I swear. Based. Spit. Yeah. Facts.
Interesting. Um,
um by the way, do you want to like squeeze in a quick book club? Because we forgot to do it.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, the hype kind of took the wheel there, but um yeah, I'll just go first really quickly, because like I want to hear your full thoughts because you finished like a season. Um, so I'm on chapter 26 of Call of the Night, so I'm about 3-ish volumes in. It's really picking up for me. Met the other vampires. Now I know about the 1 year like condition, it really only adds to my anxiety about him being 14, cuz like insane. I've noticed that Naruza, what's her name? The
Asuna?
Nazuna, right? She's, I don't know if she's a tsundere or just like not into romantic entanglements. Like I'm trying to, I think I'm still trying to gauge her deal there, but she seems to like Ko. I want to see him. You know, I want to see that thing blossom when he's of age, and then he can be a vampire. What a weird thing, man. What a weird thing to insist that he has to like do it in the fucking like in the year time span. That's so funny.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're liking it. How do you feel about the art?
Oh, the art's slapping. The art's good. The characters are charming. It's funny. It's like it's good. Um,
Hmm.
yeah.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
I really hope this age thing gets addressed, bro. I'm whew,
I didn't say it will for no reason. Don't you worry.
say that again.
I said I didn't say it will last time for no reason.
Okay.
Don't you worry.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So
You and Breaking Bad.
Okay. Well, hold on. Number score for how you feel about Call of the Night right now.
So far, a solid 8.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Breaking Bad. Yeah. So last episode of the podcast, I think I was on like episode 5.
Of season 1.
With 2 more episodes. Yeah, with 2 more episodes to go through.
Mm-hmm.
In order to what's the word I'm looking for? In order to finish the season, blaze through that. I am on the penultimate episode of season 2, so that's cool. It's definitely picked up. I definitely like it. Breaking Bad is a very like stressful show to watch. It's like I feel so much like anxiety, which is how I know I'm like invested, obviously. But I'm like I feel genuine anxiety when shit is going down. So many different things to talk about, honestly. Like, I could probably make a video on it and still not cover all my thoughts so far. But like, it's like, so, God, there's so much shit. Okay, first of all, Hank is very interesting. Hank is very fucking interesting. His whole PTSD arc right now with everything, very interesting.
How deep are you into season 2 already? Damn.
I told you, penultimate episode. I am on. I
oh
only
my
have one more
god! Of season 2? I thought you meant season 1. Oh my god! That's
No,
dude.
bro.
You've been grinding.
Bro, do not listen to me, chat, because you know what's crazy? I told him this exact same thing before we started the podcast.
Dude,
Bro does not care what I have to say.
I'm so sorry. I have been on a weird like vibe today.
Yeah. Mikey, I'll try to keep it. I'll try to keep it non-spoily for you. Then, if you're still in season 1, I will keep it as vague as possible. Although that Hank thing I didn't want to spoil you in that regard, but Hank has some like the PTSD arc is very interesting. I've kind of liked how that's been going. It's been making Hank like significantly less of like just like a one-dimensional cop asshole type of character, and he's like, okay, cool. He's not like the joking thing is kind of a front, not a front entirely, but I like that. Walters is extremely hard to like at times. Like, and I say that like I like his character. I think it's really good. He's very compelling, obviously. But it's whenever he interacts with his family where I'm like, I just fucking like I clench my face because it's so fucking uncomfortable. Like, God, bro.
I think I know the scene you're talking about.
There's so many. There's so
Yeah.
many. There's so many. There's multiple. Like, bro, there's one where once again I'll try to keep it vague for you, Mikey. Okay. Okay.
But yeah, like I kind of do want you to go into a little bit more detail because like the whole thing with Walt is the kind of awkwardness that he has, or like the weird like unsympathetic moments. I think are really shine with Skyler.
Yeah.
And I'm curious.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Mikey. I'm gonna get into a little bit more detail. I really appreciate you, bro. I'm curious. I kind of want to talk to you. I didn't know you were watching Breaking Bad. I kind of want to talk to you about Breaking Bad too. Whenever you do start watching a bit more, I'm kind of curious what your thoughts are. We may end up watching at a similar pace, but anyways, appreciate
also,
you
real quick. Nappy, thank you for the 20. Do you guys ever think the only reason Gojo seemingly was not affected by the prison realm and how time flows there due to his mastery over his domain, Infinite Void? Both seem like they are two sides of the same coin. I think Liv answered it. Where it's prison realm just keeps you alive. I I don't know. Was it
I
Liv?
mean, he's basically saying, is
Yeah.
Gojo used
No,
to
no.
this?
Foreign poppy. Foreign poppy. Yeah.
Is
It
Gojo used to time being warped? And I would
yeah.
say probably he probably has an inclination to, because we know the six eyes allows him to perceive um like he perceives time differently,
Yeah.
right? It's with the six eyes. So I would imagine that he's probably a little bit more used to time perception being off, and that probably gives him a resistance to like being super affected by it. I'll
Mhm.
say that for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
But
but yeah,
yeah. It basically does sort of keep him immortal.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Now to jump into it a little bit. So one of the scenes that really got me is when Skyler asks Walt to to cough up the shit he's been hiding, right?
right.
And Walt is just like, "What? Like what?" And just tell me, right? Just tell me what's going on. He's like, "What's going on? What do you want me to tell you, Skyler?" I'm like, "Dude, I get why. Trust me, I understand. I'm not stupid. Fuck you." I'm like, God, it makes me so like it's so upsetting because it's like no, I get it, bro. I see behind the curtains, but like also that's your wife, that's your pregnant wife who was like who's trying to support you through cancer.
Like
What
yeah.
are we doing?
It's oh man. Let's fucking go.
It's like okay, another example, right?
Mhm.
I just recently Jesus, there's so much shit. I can't remember. It's the rich friends he has that he started the company with.
Gretchen and Elliot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
So the whole lie about that he gets caught up in it, right? Like obviously, Skylar goes to thank Gretchen, right, and is like, hey, thank you for fucking giving us money and paying for the treatment. And obviously that whole thing, him and not him, her and Walter end up talking at the restaurant, right? And he's
Right.
like, he stole from me, blah 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 blah, whatever. She's trying to understand. She's trying to understand. She's trying to understand. One, I don't know why. I'm hoping I probably will, but I'm hoping it's explained why Walt just dipped out on her in a fucking hotel randomly, but I'll leave that. That's definitely not helping Walt's likability points for sure,
Mhm.
right? But it's like when she's talking, he's like, "Please help me understand. Please help me understand." She's like, "How do you mean this is none of my business, right? You lied and you included me and my husband in the lie."
Lie. Yep.
It's like, "Fuck you," and I'm
You.
like, "What are we doing, bro? God damn it!" I'm like, because the thing is, it's like, bro, I get it, I understand it. You don't want to take a handout. Fuck your pride right now,
Yep.
bro.
Take the
Take
handout.
God,
Bro,
like,
because it's
oh,
one thing. It's one thing if it's a handout for something like more low stakes, but it's like, hey man, are you willing to let us pay for your entire cancer treatment in the U.S.? No, fuck you. What, bro?
yeah, bro. And I'm like, okay. Here's the thing. It pisses me off. Like, it gets me because I'm like, bro, you don't have to sell.
You
You
don't.
could live.
Yep.
No, I get it, right? I get it. He wants to provide for his family, possibly
Mm.
after he's gone, after he's dead, all that shit. I get it, bro. I understand. Trust me, I do. I fucking understand. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. You right now, it's shaping up that you won't have a family to provide for.
Mm-hmm.
The way it's looking to me is this motherfucker will not have people that care enough about him to even accept his shit. Like, here's the thing. Another thing, right? Walt definitely wants to die, is what I've gotten from recent, because when it's something he says at this little get together celebration of the cancer being in remission,
Mm.
right? Where he's like, I said when I got my diagnosis, um, why me,
Right.
right? Um, like why me? And it's funny because when when I was told I was in remission, I said the same thing, and I was like, fuck. And I'm like, Jesus, man, that's so dark and grim because it's like, and it's like, see, the shit is all making sense too
Mm.
because it feels like, okay, we talked to Hank about fear and being scared, and like I've been scared all my life, but with the diagnosis, I'm not anymore. And it feels like that's all tying together, right? Hank is
Mm.
not Hank. Walt
Well.
has been able
Mm.
to live a little bit more of a confrontational, brave lifestyle now that he thought he was for sure dead,
Mm-hmm.
right? He thought there was nothing he did really mattered anymore because he was gonna die. He had nothing to live for, he had nothing
Mm-hmm.
to look forward to. This being the case, the fact that he's in remission means that all of that shit he did, all the times he almost died, like almost meant something. You know what I mean? Those almost had meaning to them.
Right.
Um, and it feels like I'm getting the vibe. Okay,
like,
Jesus, I'm fucking rambling
yeah.
because I'm trying to like
Do you
trying
want
to
me
really
to
put these.
like kind of give you a artificial structure just to like help?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So that scene where Walt is in the bathroom and he punches the mirror. Did you get?
Yeah,
Yeah, right. So like,
he was mad.
yeah,
Me,
he was
I fucking furious.
insane, right? That was after he was told he was in remission.
Yeah.
And one of the things that always struck me about that scene was like it was a very obvious tell that
Mm,
that was Walt being mad that for the first time since he got his diagnosis, he might have to face the consequences of his actions, right? He might
Yep.
have to actually morally confront everything he's done.
The
And
lies.
yeah,
Yep.
and like he might be
He
around to
doesn't get to
see the
die.
yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't just get to die. He doesn't
Yeah.
just get to. He does not just get to die and then leave all that money behind. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So that's definitely a big thing. And it's like, so here's the thing, right?
Mhm.
It's sort of well, I've also now maybe I'm wrong, right? But it
Mhm.
also feels like when he says he's done, he'll be done selling, right?
Right?
I get the vibe he doesn't want to be. Like there's some part of him, maybe I'm wrong, right? Don't tell me if I'm wrong, but maybe I am.
Mhm.
It feels like there's some part of him that has come to associate the danger that comes with that as a sort of thrill and as an excitement that he does not have in his day-to-day life. Um, it kind of
I
feels like
I'm not going to comment on that directly. Obviously,
that.
want to honor your wishes and your watch through here because I think half
Mhm,
the fun is getting the answer to that yourself. I
mhm,
will say my whole like guiding light when I was watching Breaking Bad was never forgetting what Walter White started as, right? What like
mhm,
episode 1, right, with the full head of hair,
mhm,
like washing the tires, all that, right? And
mhm,
I never like the reason why is because as the show goes on and you see like the situations he kind of finds himself in and you see like everything that kind of happens,
mhm,
it's a nice like kind of reality check and slash it's kind of a true north to Walt's character development, right? Because it
mhm,
starts from there, right? One
mhm,
of the biggest things I think about Walter's journey or whatever his life is that version of him was uh, before the cancer treatment who he was going to be for the rest of his life, right? He
yep,
was 40 years old, first kid, wife, second kid on the way, who was like not planned, I think, yeah, and that 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 version of Walter was going to be the version that died
mhm,
before the cancer treatment, right?
yep,
And everything after the treatment was him like
reacting to that.
reacting to that, right? It was him kind of questioning whether or not he wanted to die as that guy sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and no, the answer is no. What I'm getting at
Yeah.
least, right? Um, there's so many different things, right?
Mhm.
Like, God, it fucking and there's glimpses, there's glimmers of like when you know he's feeling remorse and he's not just bullshitting,
Mhm.
like where you know he's like, damn, I wish I didn't lie to Skyler, or damn, like when it, for example, when him and Jesse are stranded, right?
Mhm.
He's like, I deserve this. You know what I mean? Like I deserve to die right now. All the lies I can't even. He's like, there's so many lies I can't even keep them in track in my head. Right? I
Mhm.
remember that line or that sentiment standing out to me.
Mhm.
Um, and it's like, so he's not this like irredeemable fucking villain
Mhm.
yet, right? I'll say yet for sure.
Mhm.
There are still these immaturities or sort of like innocent aspects of him that are so like for example when Saul is like, dude, I fucking tracked you down it, with a PI in 3 hours,
Mhm.
right? That should not be possible. And he's like, where do you hide your money? Under a mattress? And you knowing that he hides it in his fucking vent
Yeah.
is like, shit. Walt
He's not a
may have killed
professional.
somebody.
Yeah.
He may have killed somebody, right? But the thing is like that was almost entirely circumstantial, right?
Mhm.
That is in fact the reason he had to do that is because he's stupid, or not he's stupid,
He's
but because
inexperienced. He's not a
he
professional
didn't know what he's
criminal.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like you see if like shit, Walter still has some of that. He
Mhm.
still has some of those aspects about himself, and it's very interesting to see some of them go away.
Mhm.
Telling Jesse to take care of it, right?
Mhm.
Nobody would steal from Tuco, right?
Mhm.
And handing Jesse a gun, take care of it, with the implication that he wants him to kill him. Full
Yeah.
stop, like end his life. And I'm like, Jesus. Like he goes back on it, right? Like, he's like, don't do it afterwards. But the fact that there was a moment where he said, do it. I don't care, right?
Yeah.
We
And
need to sell. We need people to fear us, right? it's like interesting.
It's funny you mentioned that scene because for me, that reveals both what you just said about Walter's evolution into the criminal world, but
Mhm.
also reveals his cowardice because he's telling Jesse to do it, and he's like
Yeah.
posturing at power without actually having it. It's almost like
Yes.
he's larping as
Yeah.
a professional criminal. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
And it's like you
yeah.
see those moments of insanity. You see those moments where he's bold, like when he tries to poison Tuco,
Hmm.
right? You see that shit. You see glimpses, but he's still Walter White. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
He's still a guy, like just a dude at the end of
Hmm.
the day. And okay, interestingly, I've loved seeing Jesse's life
Yes.
get
Oh.
better
y-
as Walt is getting worse. It's
yes.
been so fucking interesting to me to see that.
Yeah.
No, I
So.
don't know how long it's gonna last. I feel like this is a tower
Hmm?
that is made to fall down and break. Like this, like bro, I feel so scared for his girlfriend. I feel
Okay.
so scared for her,
So.
bro. As soon as he said it's been 18 months since her last, like
Oh.
I was like,
Yeah.
no, please, Jesse, seriously, I swear to God, do not fuck this girl's life up, bro. Please don't.
Right.
I'm begging, and
I
I'm scared
forgot that
for her.
she was like, huh. So it's funny, right? Oh wait, big question. Oh my god, what did you give season 1 out of 10?
I'd say it's an 8 out of 10. I liked it. I liked it. It was slow. It was not too crazy, but I liked it. I liked it. And so far, season two. Are you asking me to rank season two individually so far where I'm at, or
Uh,
compositely?
I can like,
Because I know I like season two better than season one, but that's also because it's built off of the scaffolding that season one put down. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard to rank individually. All I know is I'd probably say season two so far for me is like an 8.5 and 9, right? Um, it feels like, but in any case, right? One thing, there's just so many different elements about Breaking Bad that are very interesting to me. Hank's very interesting. Skyler, okay, I want to talk about Skyler because I feel like people,
Yeah.
I saw Skyler.
I just wanna say one thing, guys. No spoiling Ronin. All right.
Mm,
I will be deleting some stuff if you guys spoil it. I'm not gonna ban because like I don't think you guys are doing it maliciously, and I didn't say it explicitly before. But
mm,
yeah, no, don't spoil him. It's half the fun is the him going through it. All right.
for sure, for sure, for sure.
But yeah,
Tuco was also terrifying, by the way.
yeah. Okay. So let me give you kind of a jumping off point. Right. So I want to know your thoughts on Jesse. I think like first because in season last episode we talked about this. You said you hated him pre-season
He's
ones.
kind of,
And, yeah.
he's kind of fucking annoying. Like that was kind of how I felt about him.
Mm-hmm. And how has that evolved? What do you think of him now? Yeah.
He's such an interesting character. He's so fucking like okay. So it's interesting because he's kind of like he's no longer no, he's still a dipshit, right? But the
Right.
thing is like I understand kind of his parents are kind of weird. His parents are they rub me the wrong way, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Something about his mom when she says like how did you end up like this? Fucked with me because I was like you are how he ended up like this. You're his parent. Like I don't know what you did, right? I don't know the backstory behind it maybe just yet. But the thing is as his parent, you probably make up 50% of why he's like this,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just a guess, right? But as his parent, typically you're going to be a
Like.
very large factor in why your child ends up the way they do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether for better or worse.
Right.
So I'm like, that was interesting. That rubbed me the wrong way. Him getting kicked out, that was tough to see. I was like, fuck, bro. It just felt like seeing him really low,
Mm-hmm.
I think kind of made me feel sympathy for him. And it makes me happy to see that so far, at least, kind of being on the up, right? He's got an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's kind of like, he seems a little bit more stable. He has someone that he likes and someone that likes him.
Mm-hmm.
Although that girl's kind of shady for the way she kind of just dished Jesse when dad showed up. I ain't fucking with that, but there's probably a reason. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
But he seems happier, right?
Right.
He seems like a better, more rounded person. He's seen some fucking tragedies. He seems more like a complete character than an archetype, than like the junkie, you know, archetype that he was before. He's
Mm-hmm.
like he now has that as a base, but you're building a human on top of it. So I like that.
Let's
Um,
go.
I,
Let's
I
go. You love to see it.
I've definitely enjoyed that for Jesse and you know how I feel about his character in general.
All right.
I definitely like him a lot.
Okay. Next up is Skyler. Yeah.
I really don't want to not like Skyler, man.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
And because the reason I don't is because her reactions to a lot of things are so fucking reasonable.
Yeah.
Like her reactions to shit are like so just yes, dude. If
Yes.
you come home at fucking 3 a.m., I'm gonna be pissed. like over and over and over and over. You have cancer, dude.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? What are you doing this for, right? What's going on? You
Yeah.
won't tell me the truth. You won't let me in, blah, blah, blah. All that
Mm-hmm.
shit, right? Very reasonable, very sensible. The thing is, I know consciously I want to not have any like ill will towards her right now, but
Mm-hmm.
there are a couple of things she's doing that are like getting under my skin, that are like pissing me off, right? Like, like okay, so the first thing was when immediately after the fugue state Walt went in, right? When
Mm-hmm.
he fucking was in the supermarket
Yeah,
fucking
I
naked.
felt your air quotes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Her kind of like immediately leaving, like, oh, I'm going somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Don't mind, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, I get it, I understand it. Hell, I might even personally have done it in your situation to be petty, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're being petty, and because I know Walt's situation, the pettiness is like, it doesn't leave a good taste in my mouth. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that, right?
Right.
Second thing, the way she's acting towards her boss, not her way she's acting towards her boss. Let me step back a little bit.
The way they act with each other.
The way it feels, because from the implication of how she talks to their sister, they have some sort of history,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm like, that's kind of strange. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm like, every time they interact, I'm like, yes,
Um.
I don't know about this. It feels sketchy, and I'll just say this: I won't be surprised if she fucking cheats. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's kind of where I think it's going, and maybe I'm preemptively mad at that. The
Mm.
third thing, and the thing that actually really pisses me off, is the smoking. That shit actually makes me mad. And smoking on its own, whatever, dude. But like,
She's
the
yeah.
it's the pregnancy part.
Yeah.
It's
It
like
is a little. Look, I'm
like
gonna.
it. Maybe I'm being judgy, but I'm like, fuck, dude. Here's the thing. You know
Mm-hmm.
what makes it crazy for me? You have Walter Jr.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Oh my god.
You know what that means? Like,
You.
do you know what I mean by that? Like, Walter Jr., I feel like you know that he has troubles because of that,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know that his life is severely impacted by, I think it's cerebral palsy.
So, yeah, cerebral palsy. Yeah.
You know that he gets bullied because of that. He has to drive different because that was a very funny scene, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
The driving thing,
Thing,
not
yeah.
funny, that intense,
No, I
but
think
like it was the.
yeah.
I think it was interesting. It was a very character interesting
I
scene,
think it
right?
was
Whatever.
funny too. Like it was just yeah, like
Yeah,
Walt was just like
um,
having a meltdown about it. Like, but
yeah,
it's what's not funny about it. Also,
yeah.
Nappy, thank you for the 5. No one kill me for this. But Skyler is very overhated by the Breaking Bad community. Yes, empirically, yes, overhated, unreasonably so. I made a video about like one of her most like misunderstood scenes. Go watch that one. But yeah, I'm very pro Skyler White myself.
Yeah.
And I did
I
not get
want
that way overnight. By the way, just want to preface
I,
that. Yeah.
I won't say I'm pro her. I'm just more like I'm more understanding of why she's doing some of the asshole-ish things she's
Mm-hmm.
doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not like it's kind of like Walter. I wouldn't even say I'm necessarily pro Walter. Like I understand why he's doing what he's doing. I like his character. I find him to be enjoyable a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times, in spite of his very obvious fuck ups. Something that smoking thing, it kind of got me. I think
Mm-hmm.
that kind of really pissed me off. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of soured my opinion of her quite a bit because it's like it's not just theoretical with you, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know that one of your children um is dealing with that in a very like significant way, and to jeopardize the health of your next child is kind of crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that kind of that, but those are the three main things that turned me off towards her character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate her. Once again, I think the smoking thing as a coping mechanism for all the stress makes sense. It doesn't mean I like I think it's okay or whatever, but it makes sense, right? It's a human thing to cope. Cool,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. That doesn't go away when you're pregnant, right? The pettiness towards Walter, that makes sense. You feel like you're being unheard, and maybe you're trying to use this as an example to show him exactly how fucking stupid it is for someone to do this when you're like married, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the third thing with Ted, I think his name is Ted,
Yes,
right?
it's Ted
Okay,
Beneke.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Third thing with Ted, I don't have a justification for that actually. Like, but then again, she hasn't done anything empirically wrong yet, so I can't judge her for any. It's just weird. Like, okay, I'll put it like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you were to be like, money on the line, does Skyler cheat eventually or not? I'd be like, let me put 100 on Skyler cheating, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just those vibes I get. I'm like, you guys fucking with each other a little bit too much. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy, right? But I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm skeptical to say the least, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I can't make a too rough of a claim there because I don't fucking know. Maybe she doesn't, right?
Mm.
Maybe it comes on to her eventually and she's like, "Fuck
I
off."
I
That'd
I'm
be
not going
that'd
to
be a
tell
W.
you. Like, um, so I guess last thing is the villains and slash the story. Your thoughts on those?
So I'll say this: Tuco is probably the closest. Okay, who would you describe as the villains up to season two? Because so far Tuco is really the Tuco and like Crazy Eight were like the main ones, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Are there anybody else? Would you consider like Hank because he fills the antagonistic role or what?
Let's just call them straight up like
Okay,
surface.
bad
Like,
people.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. Crazy Eight, don't really care for him. Not, I don't dislike him at all. He's just like fine. He's just all right. He's cool. I think being Walt's first kill, what I'm assuming first kill and not only kill. I just imagine he's going to.
he is
He's
Walt's
gonna,
first kill. Yeah.
no, no. What I mean is saying first implies that there's going to be more, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming there's going to be more. I haven't
Yeah.
seen more
I
yet.
mean, he can be the first kill and the only kill. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah, true. That being said, Crazy Eight was cool. Whatever, fine. Tuco was really interesting. Tuco was kind of fucking scary, bro. I'm gonna be real with you.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason he's scary is just because he's actually just insane. He's unhinged. He doesn't. He's so unpredictable, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I liked. He's only in there for a couple of episodes. I feel like, but he was very impactful. And he definitely had a very good presence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whenever I was watching it, I was sweating, bro. Tuco was on screen. I was like, Jesus, bro, are we gonna live through this? Are we going to survive? Like, I really don't know.
uh, what has Tuco done most recently on your watch through? Like,
Tuco's died. That's what he's done most recently.
say that again.
Tuco's died. That's what he's done most recently.
Oh, okay. So you saw when he took them to like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Okay.
he's dead. On.
All right. Yeah. What did you think of that scene with Hector and the bell and like them trying to like?
Oh, bro,
Yeah.
God, yeah, scary, bro. I was like, dude, he's when because I was like, fuck, it's over. And I mean, and like
Dude,
when he said, oh, I changed the TV. I was like, good thinking, smart thinking.
yep.
Let's go, right? And he's like, did you do it? Is that what made you mad? Damn it, no ring.
Yep.
It's like, did they do something else? Ring, ring. Fuck.
Yep. Dude.
Shit.
I-
We're done. We're gonna die, guys. It's it.
Dude, I think there is the scene that I think I hated Jesse in that episode more than I think I've ever hated him before because he overdid it with the chili pea shit.
Yeah, bro. No secret ingredient necessary.
Yes, dude, he over like you were so fucking close. You oversold it. You did too much.
The thing is, though, that's crazy is that probably saved them, not poison. The reason I say that is because if it takes effect, because I remember one thing, it takes effect in days, right?
Wow.
If it takes effect in days,
I mean,
then they would have already
depend on the dosage.
I don't know. I remember I thought the baggie was the dosage for days, right? That's just what I'm assuming though. So what I was thinking is like, geez, it's a blessing in disguise that he didn't consume that because if that was the only way they dealt with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then that would have they would have already been in Mexico, right? Tuco they came up, they would have taken him down, and Tuco, sure, he would have died in Mexico.
Mm.
Cool, that's fine. But at that point, you have bigger problems than Tuco.
Yeah.
That's not the issue anymore.
You know, it's God, dude, I can't believe that Hank managed to take out Tuco Salamanca because he was tracking Jesse Pinkman's fucking car.
Yeah. Insane, very wild. And I will say I like the repercussions that's kind of given his character there. One thing I will say right now is I think because Tuco died, I think it was pretty early in season 2 if I'm remembering correctly.
I think it was
but-
it like the penultimate episode, or like
No,
third
no,
from
no,
the
no.
last.
No. Tuco's been dead for multiple episodes. From what I've seen. I think I.
Wait, so what's happening in the story right now for you?
Walt is. Let's see.
And I guess
So,
that leads
the last-
into
The last episode is they just got out of you know how they were stranded, their car, the battery died, they ran out of the generator didn't work, they were stranded, they
Yes,
cooked
yeah.
all the shit. That was the last episode I've
Ooh,
completed.
that episode's good.
Very stressful.
Yeah.
But yes, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it quite a bit. One thing I will say is because Tuco has been dead for a bit,
Uh-huh.
I'm like, I feel like we need a new big bad.
Mm.
Not a big bad, but like a new because like Hank isn't really on their tail anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm.
They from what I've seen, they've already Saul helped them.
Oh,
Uh,
what do you think of Saul?
Saul's interesting, bro. I feel like Saul's a fucking grimy bastard, but we need a grimy bastard on our team. That's how I
You need
feel.
a criminal lawyer. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't need a criminal lawyer, man. You need
Need
a
a criminal
criminal
lawyer.
lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as he said, bro, as soon as he talked about laundering, when he was like, oh yeah, launder that shit. What are we doing?
Bro,
We just using that? We just using drug money now,
yeah,
guys? Come on.
bro. Jesse being like, but I'm a criminal, yo, and he's like, if you want to keep being a criminal, you gotta pay your taxes. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, bro. These guys are not
Not
professionals.
professionals.
Yeah, it's
Not
crazy.
at
Yeah,
all.
and
But yeah.
yeah. Let's see. Man, this is fun. What do you think of the direction of the story so far? I think, including but not limited to Tuco and after.
Um, let's see. Story. I mean, I like it. I mean, it's just to me, it's just been a progression. It's been obviously it's been like very narratively building, but it feels a lot of the times episodic.
Mhm.
Like new problems are arising and they're dealt with within the span of like the 50-minute episodes or whatever.
Right.
I like it kind of so far. I haven't felt. I mean, there's obviously character development, a connective tissue, and like a kind of continuous growth, but it hasn't felt like building to an arc climax. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Which is fine. I don't particularly dislike that. Especially since I know there's 3 more seasons to expect. I know it doesn't have to right now.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like it's been mostly episodic kind of feeling where like, okay, Hank is going over to what is it, El Paso, right? And he's dealing with the drug lord, right?
Mhm.
Then you have the Better Call Saul episode, and then you have like the episode where they cook like what is it, $1.2 million
Yeah.
worth, and then they split it or whatever, and they
Pounds,
get
dude,
shit,
yeah.
blah blah blah. Yeah, bro, and it's like, so it's been pretty episodic,
Mhm.
but I'm liking where I'm always interested. I'll say that for sure.
Hell yeah, you love to see it. Justin Williams, thank you for the 5, bro. I just got done with a 16-hour day of driving from Alaska to Chicago. Alaska? I get here and what the fuck, Gojo? Also, Breaking Bad is goated. Dude, congrats
Jesus.
on finishing your trip.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Congratulations, bro. It's crazy that last week we were saying good luck. This week we're like, yeah, you just
Welcome
finished, bro.
back,
Nice.
yeah, Breaking
Nice.
Bad is great. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm liking it a lot. I'll say that.
Have you watched Better Call Saul, Kreams? Yes, I have. I personally still think Breaking Bad is better, but there is a good argument for Better Call Saul. Like, I won't be mad if you prefer it over Breaking Bad because it's that good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But so far I'm enjoying it.
You love to see it. Have you been like? Has it been snowballing as far as like your binges or whatever? Like, has it been? Like,
Well, I've definitely been able to get a lot of episodes because I was doing those 2 videos back to back, so I was just watching them while I was editing. That was a big reason I was able to burn through so many. But yeah, I'm gonna be done with the season definitely next time. I'll probably be halfway through next season, I imagine, for the next episode.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited, man.
Yeah, pretty fun watch.
Yeah, who would have thought? Breaking Bad I think has the most 10 out of 10s on like IMDb of any show, like percentage wise.
Really?
Yeah, because it has like, I think I counted them. It has 30, no, not 10. Sorry, 30 episodes above or equal to a 9. I think it has a better volume, like better percentage, because like Sopranos only has 20. I know only 20 out of 80 episodes are above 9s. The rest are just like measly 8.5s.
Unfortunate, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I can't wait to see how your Breaking Bad journey develops, and counting down the days until you can watch my video. I'm very excited to hear your thoughts on it because I think that'll be a fun discussion for us to have.
Yeah, for sure. I think it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to I'm just looking forward to some shit, bro. I remember, yeah. I just hope I hope season 3 is just as good as season 2 because I've been really enjoying it.
I think season 3 is the best season. That's what I want to tell you. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I'll look forward to it then.
Yeah, if I had to like mentally tier list them really quickly, it's like season 3, season 4, season 5, season 2, and then season 1.
Oh, so I'm in the second worst season. That's sick. Love to see it.
Sorry, man.
Like I unironically am happy.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm happy. It's like season because that means I get to like however much I'm enjoying it now, I'm going to enjoy it more later. That's what I like to see.
Yeah,
Or
like
yeah.
yeah, let's go. All right, fun episode. Very just a lot happened in this chapter. I enjoyed the Breaking Bad session a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was fun. Uh,
Yeah.
dude, let's fucking go. You know.
Yeah, for
um,
sure, for sure, for sure.
Thanks for coming out, guys, and listening to the greatest podcast on earth. Thank you again to Live Harder, aka the Kogane, for the awesome thumbnail.
Mm,
Um,
appreciate it, appreciate it. Yeah,
yeah.
really good
Sorry,
chapter.
I
Thank
was trying to
you
think if
guys.
there's anybody else we needed to thank. I was like, who else am I missing? Oh, thank you to Landa, our other mod.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Thank you to you, I guess. Thank you to me. Thank you to
Thank
Gojo. Thank you to
you
Gege.
guys. Thank you to you guys for watching.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a nice rest of your day.
Yeah.
Go into this upcoming week. Hope
Mm,
it's good for you guys, and we'll I guess we'll
yeah.
mm, yeah, we'll see you when you see you.
Yeah. 3 week break, right?
Yeah. Uh,
um. See you guys.
I'm sure
Thanks for coming through. Later.